master's degree in education.
Right now I'm in sport management, and I got a degree in finance, so what I want to do is work in the business finance side of sport management.
Planning for his college degree is something Damon and his family began long before high school graduation.
I can recall back, junior year in high school, I knew I was going somewhere to college. I mean, that was something my parents always wanted me to have, was a college education. Along with my grandparents, they really stressed that. My grandmother's a teacher, and my grandfather's always stressing, the importance of education. And so with those four combined, it was already decided, hey, you got the ability to play football, or, I was playing basketball at the time, but the most important thing was to get the education, and so my parents, along with my grandparents, instilled that in me.
Football, any way you want to look at it, it's very demanding, it's very tough, and very competitive. And not only that, then you have to go to the classroom and compete with people that's realistically all a lot of them are doing is competing in the classroom. So he's got two jobs, and he's done both of them beautifully.
Completing his undergraduate degree and entering a master's program with a full year of football eligibility remaining means hard work in and out of the classroom. Damon feels strongly his college educational opportunity was not something to be taken lightly, adding that his accomplishments as a student athlete are really nothing out of the ordinary. All it takes is personal commitment and a lot of hard work. For Video Seat, I'm Steve Bell reporting.
Earlier, we looked at three explosive players on offense for Georgia Southern. Now it's time to look at three very explosive players on offense for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, explosive is right. In fact, firepower. I haven't seen this much firepower at Georgia in 10 years, starting first of all with Eric Zeier, the quarterback, who can throw it. He's leading the Southeastern Conference in throwing, and he's got a receiver, one great receiver in Andre Hastings, who is second in the conference. Not only can he catch it, but he can run after he catches it. And then the running back, Garrison Hurst. Garrison Hurst leading the Southeastern Conference in rushing, second in the nation, and you're going to see a lot of those three, a lot of firepower this afternoon.
It is a gorgeous day for a football game. It will be a sellout here in Athens. Let's go down on the playing surface now to our colleague, Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
It's an absolutely gorgeous day here on the field, gang, and I mean the crowd on both sides is fired up, especially the Georgia Southern folks. They're looking forward to a big game. Coach Ray Goff earlier this week said it was kind of interesting. He didn't know if it was good to win by a little, a lot, just made sure he win because he's really kind of nervous about the fact that he didn't win. If he wouldn't win this game, there's a real question going around. That Arkansas game with the Citadel early in the year, both sides have used it as kind of a little encouragement this week. Let's go back up top to Charlie Mack and Coach Dooley.
Chip, thank you very much. As we said, a sellout crowd, 85,434. Georgia Southern had 10,000 tickets, and Vince, and I think if they'd had any more, they would have gobbled them up as well.
Well, they were trying to get them for the last 3 months. I was interested in the way that Georgia Southern came out on the field. They walked out as Georgia ran out with all the enthusiasm. They walked out. The last time I saw that was when we played Baylor here in 1972. Baylor walked out and gave us one heck of a football game, which means we're not going to be intimidated by this crowd. And I think that's the message that Coach Stowers is sending and his Georgia Southern football team is sending to the Georgia crowd.
Georgia Southern will be kicking off to the Dogs to begin this game. Reed Haley will tee it up at the 35-yard line, as the Dogs will get it first offensively, dropping back deep. Andre Hastings and Hassan Graham, two dangerous guys back for the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia 4-1 overall, 3-1 in the Southeastern Conference. Georgia Southern is 3-1. Advanced next year, they go into the Southern Conference.
Well, they'll go into the Southern Conference, and that's where Georgia started 70 years ago. So both, at one time or another, has been in the Southern Conference.
We're almost set to go on this history-making event between the Hedges and Athens, Georgia. Here we go. Hastings at the 3. Gets it up to the 24-yard line, and that's where Georgia will play it 1st and 10. Georgia Southern's defense will be trying to stop one of the most explosive offenses in America, led by All-America candidate Eric Zeier. His backs Garrison Hurst and Max Strong. Andre Hastings, who needs one more touchdown catch to set the Georgia record. There's the offensive line. The center, Jack Swan, 32 career starts.
And he is the leader in that line. You can be assured of that, Charlie Mack.
Wideouts left and right. Hastings in motion to the far side. Here's Zeier, Throwing it out complete to the 28-yard line. First down for the Georgia Bulldogs as it's Andre Hastings up to near the 40-yard line. Rob Stockton on the stop for the Eagles.
Well, it's an earlier sign at play action pass. You can see the fake to the tailback, and then Zaire coming on the corner throwing to Hastings, and I think this is an indication early that Georgia's going to test the Georgia Southern secondary.
Georgia Southern tough against the run, not as effective against the pass, and that is Georgia's bread and butter. Play fake by Zaire, being pressured, fires it on the first hop, or was it caught in Georgia Southern territory at the Eagles' 48-yard line?
Once again, a pass, play action pass, and what we call a waggle, which again puts the quarterback Zaire on the corner. And here's the receiver Hastings coming down and making a curl. The ball was low, but I like the way he went down to get the football.
14-yard gain, 1st and 10 Dogs. Strong will shift over to receiver's far side. Bohannon to the near side.
Again.
Zaire out in the flat, complete to Strong, knocked out of bounds across the way at the Georgia Southern 43-yard line, and it's a pickup of 5. On the coverage, Brandon Roselle at corner.
Charlie Mack, 3 plays, 3 play action passes.
Georgia has not gone to the ground yet. Evans will come out at wide receiver. 2nd and 5 Georgia from the Eagles' 43-yard line. Back split apart this time behind Eric Zaire. Now back into the shotgun. Here's the defense for Georgia Southern. There's the secondary. They'll be busy today. Deep drop by Zaire. Lots of time. Tries to come out running. Fumbles the football. Ball free on the ground. Recovered by Georgia Southern at the Georgia 48-yard line. Well, that's what Georgia did not want to happen early on, Vince.
Well, Zaire had the ball out, and the Georgia Southern rusher did a great job of whacking at the ball. Here's Zaire back. And he gets pressure from Mash on the inside. He makes the tackle, and the ball, when you're having it flashed around like that, that's going to happen. And this is what Georgia did not want to happen, to encourage early Georgia Southern.
Harrington recovered the fumble. You're watching SEC football on Video Seat. Georgia Southern has it for the first time on offense. Bostic, your quarterback, gives it off the left side. That is a fullback, James Williams, who carries it inside the Dog 45 to about the 43-yard line, and that's a good gain on 1st down.
Great job by Bostic of reading the tackle out of the triple option, and then the tackle went upfield. He gave the ball to the fullback, Williams, for a big gain.
Georgia Southern near hash mark, looking at 2nd down and 4. Double wing, the flex bone is the offense. Option play. Got to keep it and get a couple to the 41-yard line, and it's 3rd and short now.
Well, I think we're going to see that all day. Bostic and Williams, or Dupree and Williams. That's going to be, again, 90% of the offense.
That'll keep them fresh using the 2 quarterbacks. They'll mark it at the 41 of Georgia. 3rd down and a couple.
And Georgia Southern have some excellent offensive linemen, 3 of them that started 30 straight football games, the tackle, the center, and the left guard.
Receiver near side is Willis, a dangerous customer. They'll keep it on the ground again, spinning. It is Bostic looking for the 1st down. Inside the 40, let's see, they mark it.
Carlo Butler has come off the corner again, and he's going to come off the corner a lot on their quarterback. Here's Butler now coming down hard on the quarterback and forcing him back inside. Bostic almost was able to come back against the grain, but a great play by Carlo Butler, number 28.
Tom Wallace spins him down along with Butler.
Georgia has played extremely well in 3rd down situations, has an efficiency of 31%. That's good. That's good and solid. That is stopping 3rd down plays, Georgia's defense.
Coach Hugh Durham and the Georgia men's basketball team have their sights set on a successful 92-93 hardwood season. Remember, you can watch the Bulldogs along with their nationally ranked recruiting class in their first open scrimmage on November 7th. Be sure to get your season tickets now, as this promises to be an awesome year for Georgia basketball. Both the women's gymnastics team and women's basketball team look to continue in their quest for a national championship. Show your support for the Lady Bulldogs, too, by getting your season tickets now. Georgia Southern will be punting after the Dogs have held them. Georgia received the football to begin the game, took it into Georgia Southern territory. Then the ball was fumbled away, recovered by the Eagles. Now, this Georgia defense has held the Eagles. And now they've taken their punter out. And Vince looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down, about 1.5 yards.
No gamble early.
They're pulling out all the stops. Got the power set in the backfield. Here's Bostic for the first down and more. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Inside the pylon for the score as Georgia Southern takes the early lead on a 40-yard run by Bostic. Georgia Southern draws first blood.
Great job by Bostic. Whenever you get the defense in that tight, excellent block by the fullback on the strong safety on the safety man, and it broke him loose for the touchdown. A lot of times, Charlie Mack, when the defense is in that tight like that, that can happen. Big play. Exactly what happened.
Kick is up and good. Georgia Southern takes the early lead with 12-13 to go in the opening quarter. You're watching SEC football on Video C. Coach Vince Dooley, Georgia Southern taking advantage of that Georgia fumble and taking it on in the camper, the 40-yard run by Bostic.
We're going to look one more time. Georgia's in a goal line in charge, and when that happens, you can make a big play defensively, or you can make a big play offensively, and that's what happened. Everybody came in tight, left that gap open, and Georgia Southern and Bostic runs the option so well. Great keep, great touchdown.
So it will be Georgia Southern kicking off for the second time today.
I think the other thing, Charlie Mack, is that early on, I think the decision is if we're going to win this game, we're going to have to take some chances. The more conservative approach, 4th and 1, punt the football and play field action. But I'll say that was one great decision.
This crowd is alive. It began that way to begin this ball game. Now with a big underdog taking the early lead, Georgia need to come back and push it across the final stripe for 6. Kick is away, angling toward Hastings again. Yard deep in the end zone, and here he comes. Looking for a wall, knocked it down shy of the 20, around the 18-yard line. So Georgia will try it for the second time on offense, a very potent offense, averaging 35.8 points a game, ranked number 1 in the SEC in total offense and 5th in the NCAA. Also number 1 in the SEC in scoring offense and 7th in the NCAA. Here's your scoring drive. Took only 1:47, 4 plays, 49 yards. Craig Richardson made the stop on the kick return by Hastings. Georgia from its own 18. Pitch back to Hurst, diving out to near the 25-yard line. Tackle by Nick Davis, a strong side linebacker.
Well, that's the first running play by Georgia, and I think that the plan initially was that maybe the first 10 or 15 plays they'll throw the ball. But now that plan has changed drastically in light of Georgia Southern's touchdown.
The Dogs set up in the I. Hurst dots the I. His up back is Max Strong. Second down and 3. Zire hands it off the left side to Garrison Hurst. Breaks free at the 30, trying to get outside. 35-40. It's a foot race to the goal line. He's going to take it all the way. Garrison Hurst cruises into the end zone. Big play offense turns in a big play, Vince. Sean Austin couldn't catch it.
Hurst is stopped right there. Georgia Southern lets up just a little bit, and a great block out there by Bohannon, number 84. And then, whenever he gets out there, you're not going to catch Garrison Hurst. He runs about a 4.38.
Garrison Hurst scores his 12th touchdown on the year, his 11th rushing touchdown. The point after up and good by Todd Peterson, and it's all knotted with 11:19 to go in the opening period. We'll be back with more. You're watching Georgia and Georgia Southern on Video Seat. Okay, he wants to throw it down to Chip. Game tied up at 7 apiece. A 75-yard run by Garrison Hurst. Let's go down on the sidelines to Chip Tarkenton. Chip. Georgia will kick it off to Georgia Southern. Dropping back deep will be Chris Wright, number 21. He had a 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against Furman. He's a sophomore out of Valdosta. On offense, Georgia Southern comes in averaging 256.8 yards a game, almost 199 by the run, only 58 by the pass.
Well, that's really a run offense. There's no question about that. We've had a few teams here at Georgia that had similar stats. But what a great balance the Georgia offense has.
Here's a kick by Peterson. Wright will gather it in at the 1. Cut to his right. Gets it out to about the 29-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will play it in the 7-7 ball game. The tackle by Derek Smith, the redshirt freshman outside linebacker from Memphis. Charlie Bostic, who scored for the Eagles on a 40-yard run. Here's the scoring plays for Georgia. Only took him a couple, and covering 82 yards and only 54 ticks. And Hurst on a 75-yard run to Peter. Ball set up far hash mark. Going to go with a give to the fullback Williams as he crosses the 20, gets it out to the 22 and gets about 3. Tackle by Tom Wallace, the 6'6", 275-pounder out of Madison, Ohio.
Williams was a walk-on. In fact, about 50% of the Georgia Southern football team walk on, and a tremendous number make it and earn scholarships. Williams is one of many examples.
2nd down and 7. Quick count. Option around the right side. Here's a pitch back, and it's good for the first down. Knocked out, and a penalty marker flies at the 30-yard line. The pitch went to the slot back, Henry Parrish, to tackle by Chris Wilson. First penalty marker. The game comes with 10:33 to go. Opening quarter. We're tied up at 7. Georgia players saying it's against the Eagles.
Well, it must be holding. It's downfield and maybe holding on the cornerback. I don't know.
2 coaches in this game. Tim Stowers, 34 years of age. Ray Goff at 37. They pick the hanky up and wave it off. It's first down, Georgia Southern. Speaking of young head coaches, the young gentleman sitting next to me, a head coach here at Georgia at 32 years of age.
Well, I got here, I was 31. Irk and I used to be young head coaches at one time. We're senior head coaches or but senior ex-head coaches.
You're still young at heart, Ben.
Oh, boy.
So it's 1st and 10, Georgia Southern. Out of wing right, 2 receivers to the near side, and the single setback behind Charlie Bostic. Pitches back, running back in trouble. Fraley trying to turn the corner. Gets across the 30 out to about the 34-yard line, and a gain of 4, bringing up 2nd and 6. Al Jackson, the corner, comes up to make the tackle along with Randall Godfrey.
Bostic handles the ball well. He's a little risky with it, but if you're going to run the triple option and the option, You got to have confidence that you can pitch it out there. And as the season goes on, the timing gets better and better. And I believe they've only lost the ball one time on fumbles all year.
That's correct. Second down. Call it a long 5. First pass of the game incomplete. Almost intercepted. Coming up to almost pick off the deflection was strong safety Mike Jones, a senior out of Thomasville.
Well, Mike Jones is an example of a player that was hurt and maybe, and we'll take a look at it here. Good fake by the quarterback Bostic, and the ball was thrown just a little bit too far, but Jones, because he's got about 7 of his friends that he played high school football with from Thomasville, wanted to play in this ball game. That's why he's out there.
Third down, long 5 from the Eagles' 35-yard line in a 7-7 ball game. Here's Bostic back to throw his second pass. Got a man open. It is complete to Fraley. Fraley for the first down, crossing the 45 down to the 46-yard line. So Georgia Southern picks up another first down. Damon Ward on the stop for the Dogs, a middle linebacker out of Memphis. Got help from Greg Trimble, the free safety.
Bostic is coming out. Nice pass. You've got a flood. 2 flankers on one side, so he just comes in and curls to the outside away from the linebacker and picks up the first down.
Fraley on the receiving end of that Bostic pass. First and 10 Eagles. Here's a double wing option to the far side. Bostic's going to keep it and nosedive to about the 50-yard line. He'll get 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. Vince, he is extremely quick and makes the right decision off the option.
Well, he's been running it a long, long time. Their assistant head coach, Mike Hodges, who is one of the truly great high school football coaches in this state, knows the option game. And he coached him in high school, and now he's got him now in college at Georgia Southern. And when you have that much experience, then you develop a tremendous amount of confidence in giving and keeping, and as an example of having the option to give to the fullback or either to keep it.
Gave it to the fullback at the end of the yard. That'll bring up third down for Georgia Southern. Tackled by the middle guard Casey Barnum. Got help from defensive tackle Greg Jackson. He was the biggest surprise of the defensive front after moving over from linebacker.
He's been an inspiration. He's a leading tackler now with 44. Greg Jackson has just been a real great, pleasant surprise.
Call it third down and 6. Bostic back to throw, sets his feet, guns it, incomplete. Trying to go to Henry Parrish. So it's fourth down.
Basically the same play to the other side in which they made the rebound. You've got 2 slot backs. Again, the inside slot back curls outside, but Bostic throws it a little bit too far outside.
Billy Thatcher comes on to punt for the Eagles, a junior out of Statesboro, averaging 35 yards a kick with a long of 49. He doesn't get it up very high and hang it for his special teams to get down and cover. Let's see how he boots this one. Single safety back for Georgia. Good hang time on this one. Hastings going to get away from it, and it's just into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20 where Georgia will play it first and 10. It's 7 apiece. You're watching SEC football on Video Seat. Where is it? This is a copyrighted telecast. Video Seat and Host Communications. Here's a pitch off the left side, getting about 3 yards. And there's a swarming defense from the Eagles of Georgia Southern. They have yet to allow any points to be scored in the second or third quarter. Here we are in the first with 7:40 and counting left, and it's 7-7. Vincent Norris on the stop from his defensive end post for Georgia Southern.
Nice play by Norris, who is just a freshman. Looks like he's going to have a good future. The Georgia Southern defense is not very big, but they are very, very quick.
Second and 7. Zier brings Hurst in motion. Pitches back to Strong, cuts back, gets it across the 30, dives out to about the 34-yard line. And he'll pick up about 12 yards on the play. Tackle by Don Hudson, the free safety, senior out of Warner Robins, Georgia.
It's just a simple toss sweep. Max Strong has an incredible 7.4 average. Here's another look at it. Good block by the offensive guard. And Strong has 7.4. Hastings 7.2. Two running backs, pretty good average.
Split backs behind Zire. The give goes to Hurst around the right side. Penalty markers down. Hurst knocked out of bounds as he crosses the 40-yard line. Great balance on this Georgia offense. 1,222 yards coming and throwing it, and 1,197 running the football. The stop was made by Paul Carroll, the middle linebacker, a sophomore out of Columbus, Georgia. Talking with Max Strong, penalty against Georgia Southern.
Evidently, Georgia Southern lined up offsides.
On the defense, still first down.
Suddenly 1st and 5. Georgia will scrimmage from its own 39-yard line. Split backs again. Zire on 1st and 5. After the long snap count, will fake it. Now look across the middle. Pump fakes, fires, and it's broken up. Looked a little bit too long, Vince, in trying to go to Shannon Mitchell.
Yes, he did, and what a marvelous play by number 41, Don Hudson. He looks like he's hurt, unfortunately. His arm is holding him. But watch Hudson come over, right over the top, and make the play on the tight end, Shannon Mitchell, number 82.
Mitchell, the junior out of Alcoa, Tennessee, had 5 catches in the last game against Arkansas, 1 for a touchdown. 2nd down, 5. Game tied at 7-7, 6:24 to go in the opening period. Here's the pitch back. They give it to Terrell Davis. He swings it around the right side, crosses the 45, banged out at the 46-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 Georgia. Run out by Ronald Johnson, left side defensive end out of Hinesville, Georgia.
Terrell Davis is a good backup to Garrison Hurst. He's got about a 7.9-yard average himself. And really, what really made that play go was the tight end, Shannon Mitchell, who had an excellent block.
Georgia 1st and 10. Georgia switches back to the I. Strong back in there at fullback. Slot to the left. Zire, play fakes. Lots of time. Goes far side. Bohannon knocked down after he gathers it in at the Georgia Southern 47-yard line. Brought down by Brandon Roselle, the cornerback. Let's go down to Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
Well, Charlie, one thing has become quite obvious very early. After Georgia Southern scored the first touchdown, the Georgia folks got together and said, hey, let's just line up, run right at these folks. It kind of looks like Coach Dooley's offense back a few years ago, running right at folks and blowing open big holes.
2nd down and 4. Ball just inside the Georgia Southern 48-yard line. Pitch comes to the right side. It's Davis breaking free across the 40. Gets it down to the Georgia Southern 37-yard line as Georgia now is mixing the run and the pass effectively. Don Hudson on the tackle.
This is an inside sweep with a lead block by the fullback on the linebacker. An excellent block right there, and gives Davis an opportunity to pick up a 1st down.
The Georgia offensive line, which averages 6'5", 277, blowing Georgia Southern off the ball. A much smaller Georgia Southern defensive front. Timeout will be called by Georgia Southern. 5:18 to go in the opening period. It's 7-7. You're watching SEC football today on Video Seat. Welcome back to Athens, Georgia. Between the hedges, the Georgia Bulldogs driving in the 7-7 ball game. They have it at the Eagles' 38-yard line. As I said earlier, Vince, much bigger, much stronger Georgia offensive line, starting to blow Georgia Southern's front 4 off the ball. And now when you run it like that, the passing game is even more effective.
Well, I think the reverse game plan, as we talked about earlier, that was going to come out. And Georgia was going to test the relatively inexperienced Georgia Southern secondary. And then, of course, the fumble came, and then all of a sudden, Georgia Southern was in the end zone with a great play on 4th and short. And I think all of a sudden that sent a message, look, let's line up and play some basic football. We're bigger than Georgia Southern. We're going to have to run the football. But once that's established, then it will open up more opportunities in the passing game. But I like the way this Georgia Southern defense plays. They're a gutsy, small, gutsy group.
They will get after you. Zier walks out his tight end, Paul Etheridge, to the right side. Here's a give to Hurst, jitterbugging, dancing inside the 30, near the first down mark around the 28-yard line. He's got to get it inside the 28 to pick up the first down.
He runs now with so much confidence. He's got so much ability. His feet are under him. And you can see now his feet's under him. Watch this cut. Looks like he's going to go outside. Now watch him cut back inside the block, using his blockers. He is running right now with the best of any backs we've ever had here at Georgia.
Johnson on the tackle for Georgia Southern. Second down, about a yard to go for the Dogs. The pitch comes near side to Hurts. Cuts it back against the grain. Bumps free. Bumps it to the outside of the 20, the 15, to the 10. Drugged down inside the 10 at about the 6-7 yard line. Don Hudson kept him from scoring his second touchdown of the day.
You're going to have to lock Garrison Hurst up. You can't bump him. Again, he's just incredible the way he's been running the last couple of weeks. Watch this. They bump off of him. You don't hold on to him. You don't wrap your arms around this guy. He's going to come, and he can accelerate in a hurry from a dead stop to almost full speed. Don Hudson, number 41, the safety man, makes a great play, saved the touchdown.
Dogs have it deep in Georgia Southern territory. First down, pitches to Hurst, cuts back against the grain, gets it inside the 5 to about the 3, and it's second down and goal to go. Michael Morris and Terrence Odoms combining the stop for the white-clad Georgia Southern Eagles. They will mark it at the 4. Garrison Hurst, a real workhorse, as he has been all year. First in touchdowns with 12, second in scoring, 13.2 points a game coming in, sixth in rushing, seventh in all-purpose running, 165.6 a game. Georgia knocking on the door, trying to break the 7-7 deadlock. Here's the pitch to Hurst. There's a penalty marker going down. Garrison Hurst will get a yard to about the 3.
Well, Garrison Hurst looks like he's just a little tired, and he wants to kind of take the, looks like the easy way going in. But when you get down inside the 5-yard line, there's not a lot of easy ways. You can't stop and start and do all those things. You don't have that much time. But now they've substituted Garrison Hurst, which I think is a wise decision. Looks like Georgia's holding, and that's a big, big penalty.
Holding by the offense. Second down.
Moves it back to the 14-yard line of Georgia Southern. Second down. Eric Zier looks over to his head coach, Ray Goff. Gets the play as the Dogs move it up to the line of scrimmage. Hastings to the far side. Bohannon to the near side. Shotgun Zier. Shuffle pass. Terrell Davis breaks the tackle, gets it to the 10, gets it down to the 5-yard line, and it is third down.
Well executed shuffle pass to Terrell Davis. Here it is right here, throwing it right. That's a forward pass right there. It's one of the safest passes in the game. Good run by Davis. And then Paul Carroll, number 43, the linebacker, who really is a fine linebacker. In fact, tremendous intensity. And evidently he does that all the time, practicing in all the games.
Says Nealon down at the 6. Third down, goal to go Dogs. Zier, short drop, lofting in the end zone for Hastings, wide open, but thrown wide right. A mix-up in the signals there. It looked as though Zier thought he would run a quick post corner, and Hastings did not do that.
Well, Hastings ran a slant inside to the goal, and evidently Zier thought he was going to run for the corner with a lob, which Hastings does so effectively. He can catch the ball, what we call a fade. So now I'm sure they're on the sidelines talking to each other as to why they miscommunicated.
23-yard field goal. Peterson knocks it through, and Georgia goes on top of Georgia Southern 10-7 with 2:18 to go in the opening quarter. You're watching Southeastern Conference football on Video Seat. Welcome back to Athens. Georgia goes on top of Georgia Southern 10-7 on the 23-yard field goal by Todd Peterson.
Well, what Peterson is now 5 for 5, and because of problems with kickers, Georgia's rotated their kickers, and but instead of getting the 7 points out of the touchdown, Georgia had to settle for the field goal because of the penalty. And what will certainly encourage Georgia Southern and keep him in the football game is penalties by Georgia, mistakes by Georgia. So instead of 14 points, they have 10. Georgia Southern got their 7 primarily because they caused the fumble, which gave them great field position. They took advantage of it and took it in for the score.
Let's go down to the field and Chip Targeted. Chip.
Coach was absolutely right. Garrison Hurst is absolutely worn out. They've been giving him the old cold towels and some cold water trying to get him back to going, and everybody says he's going to be all right, but he is just flat worn out right now, but I think he'll be back soon.
Well, when you stop and start that much, you get worn out in a hurry. It's a little warmer out there than we think.
Here's Wright inside the 5 at the 3 for Georgia Southern. Cuts it back up the middle, breaks the tackle, met by 2 red shirts, and he gets it out to the 28-yard line. Jock Stevens first to get down there for Georgia and make the hit. Got help from Charles Pledgler, the sophomore cornerback. Have yet to see Joe Dupree, the backup quarterback, and the reason being Bostic has a hot hand early. From the 28 of Georgia Southern, with the Dogs on top of the Eagles 10-7, clock winding down to the 2-minute mark in the opening period. Bostic ready, comes on the crazy option, gonna keep it out to the 30-yard line. He'll get a couple. It's 2nd down and 8. Tackled by Damon Ward, the middle linebacker for Georgia.
Damon Ward is a fine athlete and will play a lot of football in Georgia. You call it the crazy option. I guess it does look a little crazy. Actually, it's a counter option, but it is called crazy option in a lot of coaching circles.
It can be the defenses, that's for sure. Near hash mark, Georgia Southern. 2nd down, a long 7. Wideouts to either side, and a check off at the line of scrimmage by Bostic. In trouble, pitches back to Parrish, knocked out across the way at about the 33-yard line. Knocked out by Maurice Harrell, who had knee surgery in the spring. He returned last week, Vince, but did not get to play. Al Jackson helped him.
What's impressed me about Bostic, there's plenty of opportunities for bad plays that Georgia's trying to create, but Bostic does not allow that to happen yet. And it's still amazing to me that they've only lost the ball 1 time on fumbles with an option, what you'd call a high-risk offense.
3rd down and 5 for Georgia Southern, trailing the Dogs by 3. Bostic back to throw, guns it across the middle, man open, complete to Sorrell for the 1st down upfield at the 46-yard line. Knocked down by the free safety Greg Trimble. 1st down for Georgia Southern, and the gain of 13.
That's a great little wishbone play. Come back and then throw back across the grain, a little curl inside, and pull the linebackers with the quarterback on the float.
Willis comes to the near side. Terrence Sorrell to the far side. Slot back Henry Parrish along with Shafton Fraley. Gives straight up the middle of Williams. Breaks through at the 45, the 40. Knocked down at the 36-yard line of Georgia, and a ramble of 18 yards. Knocked down by Chad Wilson, the corner.
That's their trap play, and it was just beautifully executed. The first time they've run the trap today. We'll take a look at it. You can see both the guard, the left guard pulling, and makes the play. And the changeup caught Georgia by surprise. Chad Wilson made the play.
Time running out in the first period, 34 seconds and counting. It's 10-7 Georgia. Georgia Southern threatening. in Georgia Bulldog territory. Here's the same offensive look on first down. It's to Williams again. He gets it just inside the 35, gets short yardage, bangs it over right guard, hit down by Randall Godfrey. He started the last 3 games, a true freshman out of Valdosta.
Randall Godfrey, as a true freshman, is the 3rd leading tackler, and he's got 39 coming into this ball game. And there's actually 2 true freshmen that Georgia's playing, Godfrey and also who's the not sure the other true freshman, but there are 2 true freshmen that Georgia's playing besides one more in Godfrey.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Georgia leads Georgia Southern 10-7. We'll be back. You're watching SEC football on Video C. A very close ball game with Georgia leading Georgia Southern 10-7, and the Eagles have it in Georgia Bulldog territory. They'll look at 2nd down and 8 yards to go. The nose of the football spotted just inside the Georgia 35. There's a look across the way at Joe Dupree, who played his freshman football here at the University of Georgia, has yet to go in the game. Transfer from Georgia in 1990. He played in 5 games for the Dogs then.
There's a trap play right there. Just an excellent block by the left guard. And the right tackle came across and hit the linebacker. That's a very basic play in their offense, and that's the first time they've run it, but it's not going to be the last time, Charlie.
2nd down and 8. Georgia Southern. As coming up is the first play of the 2nd period. Willis wings it out to the far side. To the near side, it's Terrence Sorrell, who has 62 career catches. Here it is straight up the middle of Williams, and he gets a couple.
That was again the trap to the other side, the right guard pulling.
Godfrey made the tackle. Let's go down to Chip Tarkenton.
Well, Charlie Mack, Georgia made an adjustment before Georgia Southern came back on the field with the linebackers. It seemed to work on the option play, but as you found out, they've all of a sudden opened up to where they can run the trap play, and that's been very successful on this drive.
Georgia Southern drew first blood in this game after taking advantage of a Georgia fumble at the Dogs' 48. And it was a 40-yard run by Bostic that gave the visitors the early lead. Then Hurst scored on a 75-yard run for the Dogs, and Peterson 23-yard field goal. Fraley in motion. Bostic sprints that way, sets his feet. Ball batted up in the air, intercepted at the 32-yard line by the Georgia Bulldogs. Mike Jones in a foot race, and he is going to take it the distance for the score. Randall Godfrey batted the ball up in the air, and Jones takes it all the way. Jones for the touchdown. Here it is again, Ben.
Rolling out to the left. Somebody jumps up. We don't know who it is, whether Godfrey or Mitch Davis. I think 58, Mitch Davis. And then it goes right into the hands of Mike Jones, who then has that speed. Mike Jones has got great speed. And he goes on and scores. In fact, as we said earlier, there's so many players at Georgia Southern from Thomasville. That is the main motivation for Mike Jones to play in this ball game after being hurt.
With time on the field, it's Georgia 17 and Georgia Southern 7. You're watching SEC football today on Video C. (17-7) is our score as Georgia defensive back, free safety Mike Jones takes a deflected pass from the arm of Charles Bostic and races some 68 yards.
That was blocked up by Randall Godfrey, the freshman that we talked about earlier, one of 2 that playing for Georgia, and it just falls right into the hands of Mike Jones, who has the speed to take it in for the touchdown. And this was a cheap touchdown. That's what Georgia Southern is trying to avoid. Great play by Godfrey, and it just happened to fall in the right spot. Tough break for Georgia Southern, who really had a great drive going.
Psychologically, Vince, that's got to hurt.
Well, it should hurt, but I don't think it's going to hurt this football team. You have to be impressed with the way they play, and I think they're going to play the whole 60 minutes. There's no question about that.
I would think that head coach Tim Stowers told them if big plays happen to you, you've got to not get your dauber down and keep it together, keep your composure.
Well, I can't help but be impressed with Tim Stowers, one of the toughest coaching acts to follow in the country behind Herc Russell. Comes in the first year and wins the national championship.
Here's Peterson's kick. Fielded inside the 7-yard line and brought up the near sideline and out to the 28-yard line. Chad Wilson on the stop with help from Will Muschamp. And the return brought up field by Marco Bradham, the redshirt freshman cornerback.
Muschamp is a walk-on that earned the scholarship.
A massive fundraising effort to benefit victims of Hurricane Andrew in South Florida and Louisiana taking place today. Before and at halftime and at the end of this game, the East Georgia chapter of the American Red Cross, in cooperation with the university and the Athletic Association, calling for every person intending to make a contribution toward the Red Cross relief efforts. And a fine gesture by the University of Georgia Athletics Department and the Red Cross. Here's Bostic, wheels around the left side, can get only 2 yards. That's it.
Yeah, Bostic probably would have been better off giving the ball to his fullback. It definitely was the decision there. Thought he could have made 4 or 5 yards. That was Mike Jones' first interception. And that's a heck of a first interception. Take it all the way back for a touchdown.
The senior from Thomasville, Georgia, returned at 68 yards to give the Dogs that 17-7 lead. Early second quarter, 13:25 to go. Williams is the fullback. Bostic down the left side will pitch it back to Fraley. Fraley crosses the 40 out to the 43 and an Eagle first down. Chad Wilson makes a tackle.
That was more like a crazy option. It looked like the fullback went behind or either went on the wrong side and evidently had some problems. Watch the fullback. He's behind the quarterback, so there was no fake whatsoever, and that may have done something to the linebackers.
First and 10, Georgia Southern. They'll work from their own 43-yard line. See Shafton Fraley, who just picked up that first down. He'll set up as one of the slot backs. First down call. And it's a give to Williams over left tackle. It looked as though Vince Bostic tried to take it out and couldn't get it out of his belly. Looked like he just took it away from him.
Sometimes that happens, and again, I've continued to be impressed with running what is considered a high-risk offense and not putting the ball on the ground.
Jeff Kaiser, the defensive tackle, the redshirt freshman out of Statesboro, made that stop, and interestingly enough, he lived next door to Georgia Southern coach Tim Stowers for a while.
That's a built-in recruiting advantage, I'd say. 2nd and 8.
Bostic in trouble. Penalty marker goes down as he crosses the 45 to about the 47. The officials for today's game: the referee Robert Rougeau, the umpire Joe Federspiel, the linesman Ronald Leatherwood, the line judge Cleve Hall III, the side judge is Michael New, the field judge Robert Aye Jr., and the back judge is Lynn Harrington.
Well, the umpire is the one that normally sees the holding.
2nd down.
Pushes it back to the Georgia Southern 36-yard line. The stop was made by Danny Ledbetter, the junior out of Norman, Oklahoma. So now it's 2nd down long, 2nd down, let's call it 18. Georgia on top, 17-7, just over 12 minutes remains until intermission. 2 receivers, near to the right side with a wing set left, and the wingman is Parrish. He comes in motion. Bostic on the quarterback draw all the way, gets a yard at most, and it's 3rd down and 17.
Quarterback draw is a play that really hurt Georgia in the first ball game against Tennessee. After looking at it as much as they have, they were ready for it and defended it pretty well.
Jeff Kaiser once again in there on the stop for the Georgia Bulldog.
He's going to be a good one.
Deshae McKeever also helped him out, the middle guard, redshirt freshman out of Hazelhurst, Georgia. 3rd down and 17.
I know that's a big game for Jeff Kaiser right there in Statesboro, and of course having a great respect for his next door neighbor, Coach Stowers.
Trip receivers to the near side, and play will be held up. Penalty marker goes down.
the offense. Still third down.
The leading rusher, obviously, in the first period of play, Garrison Hearst, Vince, 6 carries, 119 yards in that 75-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, and then he ran himself out. He, as Chip Tarkin had told us down the sideline, he absolutely was worn out.
Now third down and 22. Bostic back to throw. In trouble, going to scramble out of there. Being chased, going to fire it on the run. Loop it long, incomplete. Trying to get it to Steve Payne across the way. So it is fourth down. And Georgia Southern will have to kick it with 10:45 to go in the second quarter. And the Dogs on top of the Eagles 17-7. That double coverage there by Torrey Evans and Greg Trimble. No place to throw it.
I was impressed the way Bostic scrambled, and because usually when Georgia Southern is in that kind of a situation and you're an option team, you don't throw very well. Some bad things can happen sometimes. He handled that extremely well.
Another penalty marker goes down.
Dead ball foul. Ball start against the offense. Fourth down.
Georgia Southern beginning to lose some of its composure they had early. Bill Thatcher will kick it away. I had said on his first kick, normally not very good hang time, but on his first boot, he hung it up there a long time and gave the Eagles a chance to cover. This is not good hang time and not a good kick. It will be down around the 43-yard line, so the Dogs will have excellent field position to begin this drive. The score, Georgia 17, Georgia Southern 7. We'll remind you, you're watching SEC football on Video Seat. Georgia first and 10. Bohannon and Hastings come to the near side. Out of wing left. Zier turns, pitches it. That is Frank Harvey. Knocked down after he gets it up close to the 48-yard line. Let's go down on the sidelines to Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
Well, we just told you about Garrison Hearst really feeling the heat. Well, let me show you. All of the defense is sitting along there drinking on the drinks and getting the towels. It is really hot on this field. A lot hotter, I think, than everybody expected. You're going to see a lot of the fluid being drank this afternoon back up top.
I think Chip's exactly right. It seems like a great fall day up here, but I've been down on that sidelines, and I know how hot it can get with all the body heat.
And we're sitting up here in the shade with a very comfortable seat. Second down and 6, and Eric Zier wants a timeout. Well, Georgia looking at second down and 6 here now, Vince, and they got the great field position after the short punt, and they began this drive at the 43, now at the 47-yard line, and I'm sure Zier wants to make sure he doesn't see anything different on defense and a chance to go ahead and move the ball and maybe get to the end zone one more time with plenty of time left here in the quarter. 9:53.
I think they want to take it a steady, consistent drive. And we were talking about Garrison Hearst. Right now he's got 119 yards rushing. This is his 12th 100-yard rushing performance in his career, and that ties Rodney Hampton for second on the school chart. And of course the one that's first, Herschel Walker.
Yes, we've heard of him, haven't we?
And there's Uga.
Uga 5. That 75-yard touchdown run by Garrison Hearst is the longest of his career. Earlier this year, he had a 64-yard romp to pay dirt against the Tennessee Volunteers. And he had a 63-yard touchdown catch against Ole Miss here just a couple of weeks ago. Here comes Georgia. Second down and 6. Shotgun Zier. Dances around. I got to scramble out of there. Being chased. Uses a strong stiff arm. Fires the ball incomplete. Going for Hastings across the way. They had him double covered. And we can have a late hit out of bounds over there. Michael Morris. Let's see how they rule it.
Well, Zier, instead of stepping up, decides to fade out. and is good pursuit by Morris. And I don't know what would be any.
Personal foul against the defense. First down.
Oh, yeah, against on the receiver. I knew it wasn't on the passer.
No.
They're pretty strict now on out of bounds calling late hits. Sometimes they look questionable, and certainly Georgia Southern would see it as questionable. Georgia, of course, would not.
Helping us up here in the booth, Wendy McClendon and Charlie Whittemore spotting, and
Let's
with
take
stats, Chris
another
Couch.
look here. Well, it's definitely the ball was out.
At the 38, Zaire gives it off and getting it down.
Fortunate because he got under it. Hudson evidently scouted this big boy pretty good. You don't tackle Harvey high. It's kind of like Herschel. You never, once they tackled him low, it was much easier to tackle.
First and 10. Here's Davis in motion to the near side. Pitch comes to Harvey. Got some blockers out in front. Weaves his way inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line, and gets. 8:24 left in the second quarter. Georgia on top of Georgia Southern, 17-7. And here in the second quarter, we have seen a lot of hankering. And it will be against the Georgia Bulldogs on this occasion. Michael Morris will go out at defensive end for the Eagles.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul against the offense. It'll be second down.
Well, those are the kind of fouls that really upset coaches. That is a late hit, particularly when you're getting ready to go in the end zone to score. I know the penalty on holding inside the 5 that cost Georgia a touchdown, and this one right here could cost Georgia a touchdown. Just uncalled for late hit, and I know that upsets Coach Goff, as it would me.
Shotgun from the 25. Second down, 20. Here's a give off to Harvey, and he's knocked down shy of the 20 at the 21-yard line. And that'll bring up third down. Nick Davis on the stop got help from Darius Dawson, the weak side backer.
Well, that's the little run and play off of the shotgun formation.
Georgia Southern player is down, and the trainers will come out to try and help him. So many connections between Georgia and Georgia Southern, the different staffs and so forth. Secondary coach Tommy Spangler played defensive back here and was a member of Vince's 1980 national championship team.
Well, I'm really proud of Tommy Spangler. He played for us, walked on, earned a scholarship. Then he came back and was a graduate assistant, then joined Coach Russell's staff, and now is the defensive coordinator, and just a superb coach. I know Irk is really high on him. And you're right, there are a lot of connections. Of course, Irk, the Georgia Southern connection. You mentioned Spangler. Claude Felton, our sports information director, was down there, was also the tennis coach. And they tell me that Matt Rogers, the SID, said he coached tennis for a time, but we can't find the records anywhere. Claude has torn up the records of when he was the coach, but we're still looking for him.
Alex Mash is the injured player going out for Georgia Southern. He'll be replaced by Vincent Ark.
Alec Mash has been around a long time and played a lot of good football for Georgia Southern.
It'll be third down and 17 for the Dogs. Zaire will work up under center this time. Got the I-backs behind him. Bohannon and Hastings are the wideouts. Harvey shifts over. Zaire play fakes. Fires it across the middle. Touchdown! Shannon Mitchell with his second touchdown catch of the season. And there's a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. Paul Carroll could not cover the big tight end. Let's see if this one's going to come back, Ben.
Well, it's just a marvelous throw by Zaire right on the button to the tight end Mitchell, who is probably the most underrated football player on the Georgia team.
This one is coming back.
My goodness.
Holding for the offense. Third down.
I know Coach Goff is
livid.
Yeah, nice word. Unhappy, for sure.
Third down at a country mile now, Vince. It's marked at the 35, and Georgia must take it inside the Georgia Southern 6 to pick up a first.
Third penalty, but Georgia's offense is capable, as we just saw.
Out of the shotgun, Zaire throws it long, looking near sideline, incomplete. Trying to go to Jeff Thomas, the sophomore out of Valdosta. So it's fourth down. Brandon Roselle, the corner, on the coverage. And the pass was too tall. And the coverage was very good. Georgia facing its first fourth down situation on the day. As Todd Peterson trots out. And he will try a 52-yard field goal. This would be his career long.
Yeah, I don't remember him trying one this long, unless he's got a little wind.
Way off the mark, and Georgia Southern has held and will get great field position when they get the ball back. 6:52 left in the second quarter here in Athens, and Georgia leads 17-7. We'll be back in just a minute after reminding you you're watching SEC football on Video Seat. Georgia Southern has held as Peterson has missed on a 52-yard field goal attempt. Now here's Joe Dupree in the ball game for the first time, and on his first carry, he gets it out close to the first down marker. Knocked out about the 44-yard line, had to cross the 45 near the 46 to pick it up. The free safety Greg Trimble on the tackle.
Well, that was the crazy option bootleg pass. And Joe Dupree, who just a few years ago was here playing quarterback for us, is in the ball game, and Joe Dupree can run. Not only is a fine football player, but he is a fine young man. Really has handled himself as he made the change to Georgia Southern extremely well.
Here it is off to Williams, slashing over left guard and getting the first down. You mentioned Joe Dupree's great running ability. I can remember several years back against Vanderbilt, he threw a long touchdown pass to Andre Hastings.
Exactly, for a touchdown. Then he comes back in the Auburn game and has over 100 yards rushing against Auburn down one night in Auburn, Alabama.
And that was on 18 carries, and he scored in that game as well. Started as a true freshman against Georgia Tech. Ball at the 47. First and 10. Georgia leads at 17-7 with 5:54 remaining in the second quarter. Here's a pitch back to Fraley. He's hemmed in, pushed out of bounds across the way, and staying at home was the cornerback Charles Pledger.
And Charles Pledger has developed into one of the better defensive backs that Georgia has. He's just a sophomore out of here in Athens, Georgia. Fine play. Good play by Dupree in handling the option. But watch Pledger. Got his legs under him. Moves. Makes a nice tackle. He was right up on the line of scrimmage where he's supposed to be.
Help banging him out of bounds was Greg Jackson. Jackson had 14 tackles here against Tennessee. Senior out of Sharon, Georgia. Dupree wants to throw, going to come out of there scrambling, and is knocked down at the line of scrimmage at 49. It'll be third down and 8. Nowhere to go. Joe Dupree is hit down by Casey Barnum.
Casey Barnum is the old veteran, senior out of Jacksonville, Florida. Been around a long, long time. Good, solid football player.
Georgia Southern a crucial 3rd down and 8 from its own 49. Quinn receivers to the near side. Here's motion with Parrish. Dupree in trouble and sacked back at the 43-yard line by Mitch Davis, who gets his 5th sack of the season. The Butkus Award candidate comes up with a big defensive stop.
Well, Mitch Davis played it like a real all-star performer. Plays off 2 blockers. You can't see it. There's his playing off the first. Comes back. Makes a great play.
Billy Thatcher on to kick.
That's his 5th tackle for a loss, and he's also the leading sacker with 4.
Jeff Thomas in single safety, back to receive for the Dogs. A kick is away. Watch it hit, and that was dangerous.
Well,
the Georgia player almost didn't get out of the way.
Buster Owens really have got to see the football. It happened in an earlier football game. A lot of times concentrating on blocking, you don't find the football, and that ball is kicked short, particularly a kicker like Thatcher, and it can bounce. He was lucky there that it didn't hit him.
Only a 32-yard kick. The ball is at the Dogs' 24, 1st and 10. Hastings comes to the near side. Brian Bohannon to the far side. Out of the eye. Zier works his backs. They check off. Gives it off the right side. Trying to stay on his feet is Terrell Davis, who manages a couple. He's hit down by the defensive tackle Anthony Williams. The 6'2", 245-pound junior college transfer came out of Itawamba Junior College in Mississippi. Ball at the 25. Just over 4 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Georgia with a 10-point lead. Zier on 2nd down 9 takes a deep drop, looking long, going for the home run ball to Bohannon, way overthrown and intercepted around the 25-yard line. Sean Austin picks it off. His first pickoff of the year, the junior out of Thomasville.
Fine play by Austin, trying to go deep to Bohannon, who probably is the most productive receiver, does not have the speed of the other wide receivers, but the ball was thrown a little bit too long, obviously too long.
Georgia Southern with a football on offense, works from its own 25, down 17-7. Dupree hemmed in and dropped and will lose a yard, and another penalty marker flies. Boy, we have seen a lot of penalties in the first half, and we've got 3:33 to go. Greg Jackson made the tackle, got help from Carlo Butler, the outside backer.
Greg Jackson is extremely quick. Was an outside linebacker and moved into defensive end or defensive tackle, and has just adjusted extremely well.
They're still sorting things out down at the 25-yard line, and here's what happened.
Holding, offense, 1st down.
So it'll be 1st and 15. Ball marked down at the Eagles' 14-yard line. Make it 1st and 21, so 10 on the holding, obviously. Not going anywhere there with Williams, the up back, as he is swarmed under by red shirts. And it was Casey Barnum the first to get there. Second down and long. Quinn receivers to the near side. Chris Joyner is joined by Darren Willis. Back to throw, looking for the shuffle pass. It's not there. Dupree is going to keep it cut back against the grain. Works his way out to the 25-yard line, and he's got 10 to go to pick up a first, so it will be 3rd and 10. Greg Trimble, the free safety on the tackle, got help from Mitch Davis.
Fine decision by Dupree. He was coming out and trying to look for the shuttle pass coming right here, but he saw it was not the wise decision, so he kept it. And there is an example of his running ability. He can dodge, make people miss him.
Sorrell comes to the near side. Willis to the far side. Double wing. Dupree back to throw. Being chased. Dancing around and dropped at the 24-yard line. Greg Jackson, the man underneath. And Wallace on top of him. And Casey Barnum was also in there to make sure he'd go nowhere. So it is 4th down, and Georgia Southern will have to punt it. But first, the Georgia Bulldogs will take timeout. 2:05 to go in the second quarter. The Georgia Bulldogs lead the Eagles of Georgia Southern 17-7. Here's the way the scoring went. Georgia fumbled at the 48-yard line. The Eagles recovered and then took it down to score. And the capper was a 40-yard run by quarterback Charlie Bostic. Then Garrison Hurst with 11:19 to go in the opening period scored in a 75-yard romp, making it 7-7. Then Peterson for Georgia hits a 23-yard field goal to make it 10-7. Then Georgia's Mike Jones picks off a pass, returns it on the interception, 68 yards. It was tipped by Randall Godfrey. The point after good gives us our count now of 17-7. Peterson missed a 52-yard field goal for Georgia. Let's go back down on the field to Chip Tarkin. To Chip.
You know, this has kind of been a celebration today of football here in Georgia. Georgia Southern with all the national championships, and the 1980 team for the University of Georgia was honored at the pregame ceremonies. And coming up at halftime, a world champion, Gwen Torrance, will be here. So it's a big day here at Sanford Stadium.
Yeah, and all that that crowd hollering down there was because they just announced the score that Arkansas is leading Tennessee 13-7.
Thatcher gets it away. This is a pretty good kick. Fielded at the 39 and out to the 45-yard line. Parrish down to make the stop on Jeff Thomas. So Georgia gets good field position with 1:54 to go in the quarter.
Well, 1:54, and Georgia's offense can move the ball extremely well in what you would call the hurry offense or the 2-minute offense.
And here's a man who can do it in that length of time. He can hurt you in a heartbeat. Zier works from the shotgun. Deep drop. Stepping up Zier, firing it for Hastings. He was bumped at the 38. No penalty markers down. Rob Stockton on the coverage.
Yeah, Stockton got running right in front of Garrison Hurst. And Hurst had to go around him, which knocked the timing off on the post pattern. You can see it right here. You had to go around him. Andre Hastings, rather.
This is a very young Georgia Southern team. Only 11 seniors on the Eagles roster. Second down 10 from the Georgia 45. High backs this time for Zier. Turns and pitches it to Davis. Davis stumbles. Nosedives across the 50 to the 48-yard line, where he comes up 3 shy of a first down, and it will be 3rd and 3. Anthony Williams is the man who tripped him up.
Well, Davis really did trip up. He probably should have had the first down. It was a big opportunity.
Ball is at the Southern 48. 3rd down, 3 to go.
They need to get the first down now in order to keep this drive alive.
Slot to the far side for Zier. Gives it off to Davis. Davis with a first down inside the 45 to the 43. Georgia Southern 0-2 against SEC teams. They lost 32-17 to Auburn in 1991 and lost to Florida in 1986 38-14.
Well, they sure had Auburn going for a while. I think they were up 17-0 and had Florida State going into the 4th quarter.
From the 43, 1st and 10 with 58 seconds and counting left until halftime as Zier takes a snap from the shotgun. Got a man open far side. Strong goes out of bounds inside the 40. They'll mark him out at the 37-yard line, and that'll stop the clock with 50 seconds left until the break.
Georgia's offense really spreads the ball around receiver-wise. Garrison Hurst, we've talked about him running so much, is actually the 2nd leading receiver. Max Strong, as we just saw, catches the ball out of the backfield. So Zier goes to a lot of receivers in this offense.
2nd and 4. Shuffle pass. Davis trying to get it outside. Now fakes a juke and gets it to the 30 and a first down. Knocked down by Nick Davis, a strong side backer It is first down, Georgia Bulldogs. 41 seconds left. Here's another look at it.
Shuttle pass again. This is to Davis. Davis is a good runner, but he doesn't quite have that speed to stop and start, as you can see, like Garrison Hurst.
From the shotgun again. Zaire with time, steps up, going for the end zone, looking for Hassan Graham, and he's bumped. He is bumped, and that is pass interference, no question. Bumped long before the ball got there. Sean Austin and Rob Stockton on the double coverage there.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that on pass interference. Though the Georgia Southern fans down there doesn't think that's right, but we can see that he really runs, if we could see it here, right here, bumps into him long before the ball comes.
Defensive pass interference, first down.
We'll see one more look at it, and you'll see that the receiver was bumped right here. Hassan Graham long before the ball got there, and that is pass interference, unquestionable. Tim Stowers certainly is not very happy about it, and understandably so.
28 ticks left in the second quarter. Georgia up 17-7, threatening to score here before halftime. The shotgun again. Zaire across the middle, broken up, intended for Hassan Graham at the 4. Second and 10 with 22 seconds left. Don Hudson broke it up. Got help from Paul Carroll, the middle linebacker. Here comes Garrison Hurst back in the ball game. He had that incredible first quarter with 119 rushing yards and a 75-yard touchdown scamper to tie this game at 7.
Well, he's back in, and I think back in really just as much as a receiver, even perhaps in this situation more so than a runner.
Shotgun. Strong and Hurst beside Zaire. The give is off to Strong. Strong to the 10-yard line. That's as far as he can get. Georgia will burn a timeout. With 14 seconds remaining, Paul Carroll made the tackle on Strong.
Well, that was their last timeout. So they've got time for about 2 more plays, assuming they make a first down. They got 2 plays left, third down, and that's about how much time's left.
Third down and 5 when Georgia puts it back in play. They get the ball to about the 5-yard line to pick up a first down as the entire Georgia Southern defense goes over the huddle with the Eagle Brain Trust. And it's pretty obvious what Tim Stowers is telling them here.
Yeah, it's very important that they keep Georgia out of the end zone. Go in 17-7, not too bad. Have to go in 24-7. Would not be good.
Let's go down to Chip Targeted. Chip. We'll catch up with Chip here in just a minute as Georgia Southern comes back out onto the field. Sun-baked crowd here at Sanford Stadium. 85,434. And Vince, I wouldn't be surprised if there are a few more fannies in the seats besides that. Great crowd.
It is a tremendous crowd. You're right. This has been a sellout more so than any game before the season.
Georgia up to the line of scrimmage. Zaire will work from the shotgun once again. 14 seconds left until intermission. Third down at about 6. Zaire looking far corner of the end zone. Goes to Bohannon at the 5. He's knocked down at the 4. And it's first down, goal to go, Georgia. Nick Davis hit him, but Bohannon
no time out.
To the 4.
It wasn't a first down. Let's see. They finally got 2 seconds, so they're going to have a chance to kick the field goal. They got a break because now it's a measurement.
Yes. They're going to have to measure it. I thought he had gotten to the 4, but it is close enough to measure.
But he came back on the curl. So Georgia wisely is lined up in the event that they get the chance. It looks like a first down. I don't know. It's mighty close. It's shy of the 4th down. Had it not been for the measurement, the clock would have run out.
Oh, yeah.
Big, big break for Georgia.
Timeout, Georgia Southern, 2 seconds remaining.
Well, surprised Georgia Southern called timeout.
Yeah. Now let's go down to Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
All right, thank you, Charlie Mack. I'm here with a world gold medalist, Olympic champion Gwen Torrence, who went to school here at Georgia. First of all, congratulations on those 2 goals and that silver over in Barcelona.
Thank you very much. I worked really, really hard, and I just feel great about it.
Big thrill for you here today. You'll be honored at halftime. I know it's kind of fun to come back home and have all these folks cheering for you.
Yes, it's very fun, especially when it's a football game, and I'm not too much into football, but I felt like I can do it for this. It's my school, and I like to do whatever I can to get back here.
Be nice to have 85,000 folks cheering for you, though, won't it?
Yes, extremely, especially when you have the football team here. It'll be good for them to cheer for a woman because we never get to come in the stadium.
All right, Gwen Torrence, thank you so much for doing that. All right, let's go back up top to Charlie Mack and Coach Dooley.
Well, Gwen can come into the stadium anytime. So I was over there in Barcelona and watched her. I was really proud of her.
Oh, she was amazing.
What a great job she did.
It'll be a 22-yard field goal. Ball set up to the far side on the hash. If he hits it, that will give Georgia a 20-7 lead at intermission. Peterson, as the horn goes off, and Georgia will take a 20-7 lead into the locker room at halftime. Hope you'll stay with us now for all our halftime activities. There's much more to come. You're watching SEC football today on Video Seat. Now, do I need to change headsets?
Georgia Southern University, our tradition of excellence, our quality of life, our spirit and pride have made us one of the fastest growing campuses in the nation. The momentum of the campus continues to grow, along with Southern's reputation for academic excellence. The quality of life enjoyed at this mid-sized university compares with the best in the South. So for a great education in an ideal setting, we're Georgia Southern University.
When we started our program, we were really searching for something that we, that is the players and the coaches, could kind of hang our hats on and grow fond of. You know, at Georgia they had the hedges and they had the tradition of the railroad track. We were just starting and we didn't have anything. Everybody had to cross this creek at least twice a day. And when we practiced 2 a days, at least 4 times a day. And it was a nice looking stream, as you can see. And if you stretch your imagination, you can see that it's really beautiful. I think I first called it Beautiful Eagle Creek. One of the players may have, but anyway, it caught on in a hurry. The players kind of liked it. And with that first group of Eagles that we had out here practicing, every now and then after a hot practice, 2 or 3 of the guys would jump in there.
So, you know, we got a creek running by the football field, and it's full of gnats, mosquitoes, you name it, any kind of insect that there is in Georgia, we got it.
The varmints that live in Beautiful Eagle Creek, we feel like it must be the original habitat or the creating point for gnats and mosquitoes throughout the universe.
And he put a lot of thought into ways to motivate his football team and to get them to play just a little bit harder than they might normally play. And this idea came to him about the Eagle Creek water.
So every year before the first game, we get christened. You know, he makes everybody, after the practice, before we play our first ball game, he makes the whole team walk through the creek, you know. However you want to get across it, jump, swim, you know, you just have to get through it. You have to get wet. And at the end of the season, he makes the seniors, you know, we get to throw them in the creek, you know.
Our score at halftime here between the hedges is Georgia 20, Georgia Southern 7. You're watching Southeastern Conference football today on Video Seat.
Welcome back at halftime. Chip Tarkenton on the sidelines, and we're joined by the athletic director at Georgia Southern University, Bucky Wagner. First of all, thanks for joining us. I know you're excited about just having this opportunity today.
Not only excited, but I'm scared to death.
Let's talk about what it means to your program.
Well, I think first of all, for our young men that have grown up in Georgia, it's just really a treat for them to get a chance to play between the hedges, and we think about them first. For our fans, they've wanted to see this happen since 1981 when we started the program, and everyone's just excited.
I bet Statesboro this week has just been turned upside down, hasn't it?
We told the last one to leave town to turn off the lights.
This game, and you mentioned it already about being a big game, and it's a great opportunity for your kids. It's also in a pretty good time of the season for your kids. Here's a big game, and then, you know, down the road as you go in the 1AA playoff games that hopefully will be coming up. This is a good time for this game in the year for you.
Well, we hope it's good in that sometimes you can catch a 1A team about this time of the year when they want to take a rest. We caught Florida State that way a few years back, but it's good. We're going to go back and have 5 straight home games, and our offense is coming along. It's getting better every game. I don't know, what's going to happen today, but we're improving, and we're a good football team.
Let's talk about next year. A big thing for your school is going into the Southern Conference, and I know that'll be a big boost for your athletic program.
Well, it's going to be good for the entire program, for our women's program, for our basketball program, and, of course, the football rivalries will really get intense. And they're really good people in the conference. It's a sound academic conference, and we're just proud to be a part of it.
Will that be important? I know in the Division I schools it's important to get into a conference because of money and because of other activities. Is that going to help your program, you think?
Well, the scheduling aspect of it and having equal competition in all sports and playing the same people in all sports are really, really going to help. But our fans have never experienced that. And when we get into the good, solid rivalries with Furman and Chattanooga and App State, I'm sure it will increase the enthusiasm of our fans and the enjoyment of their players having the game.
We got about 30 seconds left. Update us on Irk Russell. Went away had hip surgery earlier this week.
Well, Coach, I just wish you were here. You're so much of a big part of getting us to this point. And we know he's in Chandler Memorial Hospital in Savannah. And any of you fans who want to drop him a line down there, had hip surgery. He's doing well. And we're just proud of he and Vince Dooley. Vince for giving us the opportunity to play here, and Irk for getting us here.
Bucky Wagner, thanks for joining us at halftime. We appreciate it. All righty, that's Bucky Wagner, who's the athletic director at Georgia Southern. Now let's throw it back up top to Charlie Mack and Coach Dooley.
Thanks, Chip. Bucky Wagner, quite a quarterback in his playing days, too, at Ohio University. We'll be back in just a minute and take a look at the first half stats and highlights with Georgia leading Georgia Southern 20-7. You're watching SEC football today on Video Seat.
And now, Georgia baseball. Let's continue this 1992 season in high gear as we cheer the Dogs on to victory with the Spell Georgia cheer. Are you ready? Give me a G. Give me an E. Give me an O. Give me an R. Give me a G. Give me an I. Give me an A. What do you got? Today's music arrangements were by Tim Waters, and percussion arrangements were by Eugene Fambro. Auxiliary coordinators are Julie Hayes and Janice Snow, with drill designed by Scott Tobias. Your announcer has been Tom Jackson. Thank you. Please direct your attention to the field for a special recognition. On the south sideline is a Georgia Bulldog who is world renowned as a track star. She was a 4-time NCAA champion and a 12-time All-American at Georgia from 1984 to 87. She has participated in the 1988 and 1992 Olympics, winning the silver medal in the 1600-meter relay and gold medals in the 400-meter relay and 200 meters. With her husband and coach Manley, son Manley Jr., and her collegiate track coach Louis Gainey, is Georgia's own Gwen Florence. Let's give her a big hand. Your attention, please. Eric Handy. Eric Handy, please call University Police. And Gina Bennett. Gina Bennett, please meet Gary at gate 2. Here are some more scores of interest. In the third quarter, Florida State 29, North Carolina 10. In the third quarter, Miami 10, Penn State 7. In the third quarter, Syracuse 36, Rutgers 14. In the second quarter, Florida 7, LSU 3. At the half, Illinois 15, Ohio State 13. In the first quarter, Nebraska 7, Oklahoma State nothing. And in the third quarter, Arkansas 16, Tennessee 7.
Georgia leads Georgia Southern 20-7 at halftime, and the Eagles from Statesboro scored first and took a 7-0 lead with 12:13 to play in the initial period.
Bostic on short yardage, 4th and 1. Georgia was in a goal line defense and pinch. He ran the option. Great read, kept the football, and went in the end zone for the first score.
Then Garrison Hurst came right back for the Dogs and scampered 75 yards, and what a run this was.
Incredible. Bounced off one man, bounced off of another, got lost in the pile, which sometimes happens, then picks up a great block out here by Bohannon, and then he's got that 4.3 speed, a 4.38 speed, and when he breaks, you're not going to catch him.
He is off to the races, and that is Garrison Hurst's 11th rushing touchdown of the year, his 12th overall. And Georgia plays some pretty good defense there too.
Well, that's Mitch Davis who knocked down two blockers and won twice to make the sack on Joe Dupree.
We're set to go here in the second half of play. Georgia will be kicking off to Georgia Southern. Here are the first half stats. Georgia Southern with 7 big penalties in the first half. That really hurt them. They had the ball longer, 16 minutes and 4 seconds.
Georgia had some critical penalties, only 3, but they were critical.
It is deep. Branham comes up to the 15-yard line, lowers his head and gets it out to about the 20, where he's stuck by Chuck Volrath, wide receiver, junior out of Blue Ridge, Georgia.
He's a walk-on and has really done well. He's a leading tackler on the special teams, along with Whit Marshall, linebacker, who's made a lot of tackles.
Georgia Southern had 156 yards in total offense in the first half. They threw it for 130, which is not characteristic in their previous games of this offense. Bostic will be the quarterback. Started the game, had that big 40-yard run. Here's the option. Pitch back is to Williams. Williams 25. Williams knocked down hard at the 28-yard line, and a great open field tackle by Al Jackson.
Excellent job of executing the option. It's a counter option, pitches out, and then it's an excellent block by the by the halfback of Georgia. I think it's might be Fraley, the slot back.
Harris is one of the slot backs. Fraley the other. Single set back Williams. Give goes to him. He gets the first down. Crashes out to the 33-yard line. Greg Jackson on the stop for the Dogs. Georgia's #1 tackler coming in with 44 hits. Georgia Southern, we mentioned, picking up all those penalties, 7 for 66. Last week they had 11 penalties totaling 134 yards.
That's a lot of penalties. A lot of penalties. Too many.
From the 33, it's 1st and 10 for the Eagles. A fumble on the play and a scramble for it. And Georgia Southern will retain possession. May have lost a yard on the play.
Good job of getting the ball back. That ball usually sometimes gets lost when it's fumbled from the center on the quarterback center exchange.
Tom Wallace almost fell on it for Georgia. 2nd down 11. That is a loss of a yard. Pitch back. Harris looking for running room. Boy, did he get stuck at the 35-yard line.
Great.
Excedrin headache number 6.
That was a great read by the quarterback, though, Bostic, and getting the ball away in a hurry because the end came down on a stunt, and he had to release it in a hurry. Here it is right here. Watch him get rid of the ball as the defensive end comes down on him, and then Mike Jones comes over and makes the play along with Godfrey, who continues to amaze everybody at just a freshman out of Valdosta. 2nd leading tackle, 3rd leading tackle.
3rd down and 8 from the 35 of Georgia Southern. Charles Bostic back to throw, squirming around, in trouble, throws it out of bounds over the head of Sorrell upfield. And Georgia Southern on his first possession of the 2nd half will have to boot it away.
Good job by Bostic of just really throwing it away. Otherwise, he would have been sacked. Georgia Southern's passing game certainly needs to be improved. Percentages are not good, but they are primarily, first of all, a rushing football team.
Single safety back for Georgia. They're going to let it hit. Takes a crazy kick and is down at the 39-yard line by Marco Bradham. It's Georgia 20, Georgia Southern 7. We'll be back in a minute. You're watching SEC football on Video Seat. Let's go down on the field to Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
Well, Charlie, one thing Coach Ray Goff told his team at halftime is we're not going to change anything. We just want to pick it up a notch. All the Bulldogs seem to be fine. Everybody's planning to go here the 2nd half, so that's some good news for Georgia fans. Back up top.
Ball is at the 39-yard line of the Georgia Bulldogs with 12:18 to go in the 3rd period. It's Georgia 20, Georgia Southern 7. This is Charlie Mack Alexander with Vince Dooley, and you just heard from Chip Tarkenton. It's our pleasure to be bringing you today's game on Video Seat. Georgia Bulldogs coming in at 4-1. Georgia Southern at 3-1. We talked a lot in our pregame about the relationship between Vince Dooley and Erk Russell. Very interesting. Both at Auburn, played in the 50s, both in the Georgia and Alabama Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, we've had a lot of fun over the years, Erk and I, and hope to have a lot more.
Zion 1st down. Going to give it to Garrison Hurst. Hurst on his feet at the 45. Knocked down a yard shy of the 1st down at the 49 as he gets 9 on 1st down. Don Hudson grabbed him by the ankles and held on for dear life.
Well, well, here's a great example. Watch Hurst. When he sees the daylight, now watch him stop and then bounce off. If you don't lock him up, you're not going to tackle him. And Hudson, Don Hudson, continues to make a lot of tackles for Georgia Southern.
And a good block in the corner by Brian Bohannon. 2nd down and 1. Zaire. Play fake. What a fake by Zaire. Looking for the home run ball. He's got Hastings open at the 10, and he catches it. And there's a penalty marker down. It's a touchdown. What a throw and what a catch by Andre Hastings. If it stands, Brandon Roselle trying to cover him. If it stands, Andre Hastings becomes the all-time leading touchdown catcher in Georgia history. Oh, what a kick.
Well, obviously, tremendous fake here by Zaire, putting the ball on his back. Now looking, turns his head, throws.
Defensive pass interference.
Hastings
Touchdown
can't jump.
Is good. Will penalize on the kickoff.
Andre Hastings can really get up in the air and catch the football. It was pass interference, obviously by the defense.
52-yard touchdown pass.
Well, Charlie Whittemore is right up here in the booth with us, and he's just tied Charlie Whittemore's record. I guess he's tied, is that right, Charlie? For the career touchdown passing record.
Georgia 27, Georgia Southern 7. We'll take a break and be right back. We remind you, you're watching SEC football on Video C. Welcome back to Athens, Georgia. The Dogs lead the Eagles 27-7. Zier, a perfect strike and an even better catch by Hastings. It covers 52 yards.
Andre Hastings can really get up in the air. You can put him out there one-on-one and put it up, and he'll come down with it 3 out of 4 times.
With a penalty, Peterson will kick off from midfield.
That's the 11th touchdown career for Hastings, and it tied, as we mentioned, Charlie Whittemore's record, who's coached with us for so long and is now working with us as an administrative assistant, a lot of other jobs, and also Bobby Walston. And I rather suspect that Andre Hastings will break that record before the year's out.
That's a pretty good company in advance.
I'd say.
3 catches today for Hastings and 79 yards. Here's Peterson's kickoff.
Wow, I didn't know Peterson could kick it that far. That is out of the end zone.
So Georgia Southern will have it 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line. Here's a look at the scoring drive. 2 plays, 61 yards, and 49 seconds. Talk about striking quickly.
Tremendous fake by Eric Zier on the play.
Vince, you've seen a lot of quarterbacks and tailbacks who fake so well. You go back to the single wing, and of course getting into the tee. He's got to be one of the best I've seen.
He is. He's good at it. He's had a remarkable freshman year and hadn't been jinxed yet as a sophomore.
Here's Bostic. Will keep it, get it out to the 25-yard line, bringing up 2nd and 5.
Godfrey continues to make tackles.
Godfrey and Jackson combined.
That is a kind of a whirl option, faking a trap and then whirling around. Tim Stowers, again, I got the highest respect for him. 2 young coaches, 2 of the youngest in the business. Ray Goff at 34, 35, and Tim Stowers.
Here's a give to Williams with a big hole, and he gets it out for 1st down yardage to the 31. Greg Trimble made the tackle, and a Georgia Southern player is down back at the 25-yard line.
That looks like a twirling dervish quarterback on that plate.
The player down number 50 for Georgia Southern is Rusty Parrish.
Watch the spin here. Again, a trap on Jackson, number 54. And they have run the trap extremely effective.
Rusty Parrish, the senior out of Thomasville, Georgia, down right now, being administered to, and hopefully he'll be able to get up under his own power and play many, many more downs.
You know, we were talking about all the Georgia Southern connection. We mentioned Claude Felton. He's claiming that he was undefeated as a tennis coach, but we're still going to check the
Vince, are there pictures, though? Are we sure?
Yeah, we're going to check it. You know, Steve Weber, our baseball coach, was an assistant baseball coach down there. Frank Inman coached here, and now he's doing the color on radio. And then Dr. Nick Henry, the president of Georgia Southern, was a political science teacher here at the University of Georgia. So there's a lot of Bulldog Eagle connections.
Harris is replaced by Scott Chafin, the junior from Moultrie, Georgia, 6'2", 239. 1st down, 10. Pitch back to the trailing back, looking for running room. Knocked down as he crosses the 31-yard line is Willando Hicklin, a junior out of Atlanta. Tackled by Randall Godfrey. Vince, he's like Santa Claus. He's everywhere.
He is an amazing freshman. We talked about 2 freshmen. He's one. The other is Philip Daniels from Donaldsonville, who has played extremely well, a marvelous athlete, and those 2 have really made a contribution. But the program is such now that many freshmen get to play like they did 2 years ago.
Well, it's 2nd and 8. Bostic in trouble, shakes off a defender and out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Greg Jackson on another tackle.
I have to admire the Bostic. He makes some good decisions. He can almost get himself in bad trouble right here, but he seems to have an ability to go in the right place, to get out of trouble.
That's 3rd down and 12 for the Eagles. Willis will come back in and pass on a play to Charlie Bostic, who had reconstructed knee surgery in 1990. Came in with 6 touchdowns, and he had the 40-yard run today for his 7th.
He doesn't look like he had surgery.
Not at all.
Whoever did it did a great job on it.
Bostic back, got time, throws a bullet complete upfield to the 41. Maurice Harrell on the tackle.
And it's going to be a shy about a yard. Nice catch by Fraley. Good throw. But yet, if he had gone a half a yard down the field and made the first down.
Take another look at him.
Well, he did make it.
Gave him the 41 and a first down for Georgia Southern. Sorrell is out at wide receiver. Trip receivers to the far side. Here's a pitch back to Williams. Hit and knocked down at the 39.
And you know who made the tackle?
Do we even have to say it's Randall Godfrey? What a game he has played. He had 13 tackles against Cal State Fullerton this year.
Again, the option handled well. A lot of pressure on the quarterback by Mitch Davis, who had a stunt down on the quarterback.
Bring up 2nd down 11. Ball spotted inside the Eagles 40. Joyner, the receiver, to the near side, working a slot right. Bostic back to throw. Now comes running out, fires on the run. It's complete to Fraley. Fights his way up to the 49. The ball is stripped away, and Georgia Southern recovers at the 48. Al Jackson with a big pop there. And recovering it was Chris Joyner.
Good job here of scrambling by Bostic. He finds Fraley, who gets open. Then he gets hit, stuck real good right here. Stripped of the football by Damon Ward, number 53, who's running over. There's Jackson. He sticks his head down a little bit, needs to keep his head up. And there goes Ward, who comes by with his arm and strips it.
From the 48, 3rd down and 3. Big play for the Eagles. Bostic going to tuck it and try to get it. He's got it and more inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. First down, Georgia Southern. Damon Ward makes the tackle.
Damon Ward has a lot of speed. That was some great blocking on that play. James Williams, the fullback, makes an excellent block. This is basically a quarterback sweep is what it is. And then you'll see right here Williams making the block, and finally Ward coming over. Here's the blocking right here. Good job by Godfrey of keeping his feet. There's Williams's block on Mike Jones, number 9.
From the 44 of Georgia, here's a give to Williams. Shakes a man off of the line of scrimmage. Shakes another inside the 35 to the 34. What a run. James Williams brought down finally by the cornerback Chris Wilson.
Well, now they're mixing it up to where, and that's the way this offense is supposed to learn. Different looks. Outside real quick with the fullback up front. Missed a tackle by the linebacker. And finally Greg Trumbull, the safety man, makes the tackle.
10.5-yard run gives him the first down. 2 slot backs. Williams is a single setback behind Bostic. Wideouts to either side. Here's a give to Williams again. Slung down at the 30 after he gets 4 by, you got it, Randall Godfrey.
Randall Godfrey, he may set a tackle record out here at Sanford Stadium before the day's over if he keeps this up.
Yes, I'm curious to see how many solo tackles he has when the game is over. Williams stats having a big game, 72 yards on 14 attempts. He is a former walk-on. Last week against Savannah State, Williams ran it 17 times for 110 yards. 2nd down and 6. Bostic comes out of this scrambling again, looking for Sorrell. Pump fakes, keeps it, goes out of bounds inside the 25 at about the 23. Pushed out by, you got it, Randall Godfrey.
A true freshman. Now, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a performance like a true freshman linebacker like that.
It is 1st down. Georgia Southern.
Godfrey's from Lowndes County, and then Georgia Southern has somebody from Lowndes County, Chris Wright, who is the kickoff returner. There's just a lot of class reunions here among the high school players for Georgia and Georgia Southern.
And a wing right, 2 receivers to the far side on 1st and 10 inside the Georgia 25 at the 23. Boston pitches back. Fraley cuts inside, gets to the 20, to the 15, down to the 9-yard line. 1st down, goal to go, Georgia Southern.
Just a great execution of the option. Tremendous block by James Williams. That springs Fraley loose.
A 14-yard run.
Counter option down the line. Watch Williams leading. He makes the block on Jones. And there's Fraley, good open field runner. We'll see it again right here. We should see the block. There it is on Jones.
1st down, goal to go. Williams fumbles the football. There's a big scramble for it. Georgia's got it at the 10-yard line. Georgia's football dodging a Georgia Southern bullet as Chris Wilson recovers. Wilson, the senior from Macon.
Big play. Just hit the ball. It looked like the ball was held high, and the fullback Williams just knocked it out of him. Didn't get it out of him fast enough.
Georgia 1st and 10. 27-7 our score with 5:49 to go in the 3rd. Sire turns quickly, pitches to Hurst.
Look out.
Dancing outside, tripped up, goes down at the 13-yard line. Tripped up by Paul Carroll. You know, Vince, I don't know how many Georgia players heard.
That Paul Carroll, number 43, is a good linebacker for Georgia Southern.
Tim Sowers says he's one of the most intense people he's ever seen. Here's a give to Hurst. Caught in the backfield and a great tackle by Darius Dawson.
They got some good outside linebackers. Carroll, number 43, is a good linebacker for Georgia Southern.
Tim Sowers says he's one of the most intense people he's ever seen. Here's a give to Hurst. Caught in the backfield and a great tackle by Darius Dawson.
They got some good outside linebackers. Donald Johnson and Dawson, number 5.
Georgia Southern is 1-1-1 against state rivals. We'll talk about that in a minute.
There's Dawson right there, making the play.
Eagles are 5-0 against Savannah State, 5-1-1 against Valdosta State, and 1-0 against West Georgia. Seeking their first ever victory over a 1A team, and they're down to Georgia 27-7 right now as Zaire drops back to throw on a 3rd and 7 across the middle. Drop, thrown slightly behind Shannon Mitchell, but looked like it was a catchable ball.
Shannon Mitchell doesn't drop too many of them.
Paul Carroll was covering, and Georgia will have to punt.
There it is, running out pattern, enough for the 1st down, and hit him in the wrong spot.
Right in the hand.
Right in the chest, the hands.
Scott Armstrong on the punt. And this is Georgia's first punt of the day. Didn't get all of it. They'll watch it roll. And he didn't get much out of that as it's down at the Georgia 43-yard line. So Georgia Southern takes it down deep and now gets a chance to get it back. It's 27-7. Georgia will be back, reminding you you're watching SEC football on Video C. Georgia up 27-7. As they were knocking on the door at the Georgia 9 when Williams fumbled. Georgia got it back, but then the punt there, the short one, gives it back to the Eagles.
I like
Bostic
it.
will keep it. And he can run it, Vince. He's down at the 36.
He can. He makes good decisions. That's what I like about Bostic. Really makes good decisions.
Maurice Harrell on the tackle. Sophomore out of Eastman.
The twirling option is a tricky and interesting play.
It's like a whirling dervish.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever that is.
Well, that's a long history in itself.
Second down and short. Stacked up right at the first down marker. Let's go down to Chip.
Thanks, Charlie. On Georgia Southern's last drive, the Bulldogs had a couple of players come out. Mitch Davis got a Charlie horse, so he's going to probably limp through most of the rest of the game. Randall Godfrey had the breath knocked out of him. He's expected to be back in action very quickly. So that's an update on a couple of injuries on the last series.
Charlie Clemens, who's playing with a tender knee, made the last stop for the Georgia Bulldogs. He's married, has a 2-year-old daughter, junior college transfer. It is first down, Georgia Southern. 3:29 to go in the third quarter. Georgia Southern could not cash in on its last series. Dogs had to kick to him, got a short kick out to the 43, and here's where they are now, 1st and 10 from the Dogs' 33. Bostic and a pitch back to Fraley at the corner inside the 30, diving to the 28. Shoestring tackle there by Torrey Evans.
Torrey Evans is a real captain of that football team. Calls the defense, experience, does a tremendous job in being at the right place, particularly on pass defense. Outstanding young man, Torrey Evans.
Second down, a short 5 we'll call it. Nose of the football touching the Georgia 28. Slot near to the right side with Willis in the slot. Bostic swirls, pitches back. 25, 20, and another first down. Glendo Ficklin. And Travis Jones makes a tackle for the Dogs. Got help from Al Jackson.
Yeah, this is Philip Daniels, a freshman, causing the quick pitch. But again, Bostic handles it extremely well.
Vince coming over, All-American candidate Rex Nottage, right tackle, 6'2", 230 out of Coral Springs, Florida.
He's been a real veteran. He's started 31 straight games. Great tackle in there.
You can hear it pop up here. Gain of a couple.
By Charlie Clemens, I believe, number 48, who is a junior college player out of Griffin, who is really a hitter.
Ball went to Chad Holmes, the 5'10", 200-pound fullback. Redshirt freshman out of Griffin, Travis Jones.
Travis was a former linebacker like Greg Jackson. He went down, and he's done a tremendous job as a down lineman. Georgia lost a lot of down defensive linemen since the beginning of the season, all back to last spring.
3 receivers left, one to the right side. Single setback is Holmes on second down and 8. Bostic, ooh, took a shot. Pitches back to Holmes. Holmes shakes free at the 20, gets it inside the 15, scrambles down the 11-yard line. Did Bostic take a pop? Right in the chops.
Man, did he take a shot is right, and that was Philip Daniels, the freshman. We'll go take a look at this one. Here it is. Daniels putting the hit on him. But again, Bostic handles it. Poor job of tackling. And good running.
Greg Trimble finally makes the tackle for Georgia.
Greg Trimble is one heck of a good safety man, and he can tackle. Reminds the coaches of Ben Smith, who was drafted in the first round with the Eagles. They're both out of the same high school, Warner Robins.
1:02 to go in the third. It's Georgia 27 and Georgia Southern 7. You're watching Southeastern Conference football on Video Seat. Georgia Southern was down here on its last possession, but Williams fumbled at the 9. Georgia Southern's defense held Georgia. There was a short punt by Scott Armstrong up to the 43. That's all, and now Georgia Southern's looking at a crucial third down at about 2.5. They know they've got to cash in here with Georgia up 27-7.
Well, they've certainly moved the football on Georgia on the ground extremely well. had some tough luck inside the 10.
Here we go. Big third down play for Georgia Southern. 3 receivers to the near side. Willis goes to the far side. Single setback is Chad Holmes. Georgia Southern's left tackle jumps off sides. Joey Cushing. He saw the blitz coming, and he took off too early.
He sure did. Charlie Clemens ran up and then stopped. That made the left tackle shaky. And the left tackle is just a sophomore, and that happens a lot. The rest of the line is...
False start. Offense. Third down.
The rest of the line is experienced. They held, but the young sophomore made the move.
Now the ball at the 18-yard line. Third down and 8.
Well, this takes them out of what they want to be in. They want to be third and short. Georgia Southern do not want to be third and long.
Joyner and Willis come to the near side. Ficklin sent on a wing left. Holmes the fullback. Pitch goes back to Ficklin. Got a man out in front of him. 15-10 down to the 9-yard line and a first down. Big play for Georgia Southern. Charlie Clemens on the tackle with help from Charlie Pledger.
And along with Randall Godfrey. Just a tremendous job of handling the option once again. Pitching out, getting a good block by Clemens. He is a workhorse.
First down, goal to go. Georgia Southern. Give us to Holmes, who will get a yard. Second down, stacked up by the middle of the Georgia defense.
It's been an option education for the Georgia defense.
Tom Wallace led the charge.
Really impressed with the way they handle the option. Mike Hodges, the offensive coach, does a tremendous job.
15 seconds left in the third quarter. Second down call. Bostic pitches back to Fraley, thrown behind him. He fumbles it. Georgia recovered. Number 42. Go ahead, Vince.
Hey,
Randall Godfrey.
Randall Godfrey. Philip Daniels made it. There's 2 freshmen. Daniels again put the pressure on Godfrey. The first time that I've seen Georgia Southern fumble. Let's see it, Godfrey. There's Godfrey right there. The pitch was a little behind, and there is Godfrey making the recovery. What a game this guy has played.
Georgia first down. Zier turns, pitches to Hurst, right side, got a blocker in front, gets it out to the 21, and that's the end of the third period. Here in Athens, it's Georgia 27, Georgia Southern 7. We'll be back in just a minute as we remind you you're watching SEC football on Video Seat. Georgia up 27-7, and for the second straight time, the Dogs dodge a big Eagle bullet. On the last occasion, Georgia Southern had it. Second down goal from the 9. Randall Godfrey, as a pitch from Bostic thrown behind Fraley, recovers it.
Well, it certainly has not been characteristic of Georgia Southern to fumble the football. I think that's the second fumble all season that they have lost.
Get set for the fourth and final period. This game stood 20-7 Georgia at halftime. Only 1 touchdown has been scored here in the second half. That was in the third period. A 52-yard touchdown pass from Eric Zier to Andre Hastings. And with that touchdown pass and catch by Hastings, that gives him number 11 in his career, tying him, of course, with a gentleman just to our right, Charlie Whittemore, and Bobby Walden.
Charlie Whittemore, who's seen a lot of his records being broken.
And
Lindsey Scott, and now Andre Hastings.
Here's a give to Garrison Hurst, weaving his way to the 24, where he's knocked down on his back with a good stick. Hughie Hunt, the redshirt freshman out of Hinesville. This Georgia Southern team is so very young. We mentioned earlier, only 11 seniors on their roster. They're just going to get better.
Well, they are. And you know what's interesting about Georgia is they only have 3 seniors on their offense. The offense is 5th in the country right now.
And 6 on defense.
Yeah. So there's a good future there, too.
Georgia comes into this game averaging almost 439 yards of total offense. Here's a give to Hurst again. Finds a seam. Works his way out for the first down of the 34.
Garrison Hurst is so versatile. He can do so many things. He's got his feet under him. Great. He also has great power for a little man. And watch this, how he uses his body breaking tackles.
The junior from Lincolnton, Georgia, came into this game averaging just over 7 yards per carry and came in with 24 career touchdowns. He's got 1 today on a 75-yard scamper in the first period. Here's Max Strong. Strong gets it out to about the 38, hit down by Paul Carroll.
Paul Carroll, the big linebacker. I say big, hard. He's not very big. In fact, I thought I read where Coach Stowers says that if he was 6'3", 230, we couldn't let him practice. He'd kill somebody.
That's right. Or you can take a bushel basket full of those and have some success.
Amen.
2nd down and 7. Zier gives it on the draw to Hastings. Great move, or rather to Hurst, out to the 41, and that was a great shoestring tackle by Paul Carroll, the man we were talking about. Because had he not tripped him up, Hurst had a long way to go and could have gotten there maybe.
Yeah, Carroll makes a great play, trips him up. You're right.
Here's Andre Hastings to the near side and Hassan Graham to the far side. The tight end is Shannon Mitchell. Out of the eye. Give us to Garrison Hurst, stacked up. No, it's a great fake and a throw and catch for the first down. Shannon Mitchell into Georgia Southern territory to the 42. I was totally fooled. Obvious.
Mitchell's hurt a little bit. Hope he's not too bad. Great fake. You're right. Fake the cameraman out. Mitchell. Every camera lost it, as a matter of fact. And
got a Georgia player down, Vince, on
that's
the near
Shannon
sideline.
Mitchell. Yeah, we hope that he's not too bad. He's obviously hurt.
Shannon Mitchell, been a starter since his freshman year, was Mr. Football in Tennessee.
Well, he has been, I think, perhaps one of the most underrated players on the Georgia football team. Had a great game against Arkansas. Hopefully he just got the breath knocked out of him. But this is a good play for Georgia. It's a little delay with a fake of a bootleg. The tight end blocks and then slips out, which is what Shannon Mitchell did on that play.
Let's take time out. Georgia leads Georgia Southern 27-7. We'll remind you, you're watching SEC football today on Video Seat. From the 42-yard line of Georgia Southern, Georgia's ball. First down, 10 yards to go. Graham to the near side, Hastings to the far side. Strong's the fullback, Hurst is the tailback, and flexing out to the left side, the tight end Paul Etheridge. Here's a give to Garrison Hurst. Great move inside the 40. Knocked down about the 36, and hold the phone. There's a penalty marker down at the 37. Tackle was made by the corner, Sean Austin.
Great stiff arm that you don't see too much, evidently holding. Tremendous stiff arm by Garrison Hurst.
Vince, he stops and starts.
He does.
I guess as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Rodney Hampton, I thought the best we ever had.
Foul against the defense.
Personal foul. Rodney Hampton, who was with the Giants, great back, could do that as well as anybody, but Garrison Hurst, I think, can do it as well.
12:23 to go in the ball game. The major walk-off puts it down at the Georgia Southern 22, 1st and 10.
I think what Georgia wants to do here is have a good sustained drive. Like to get at least one more good sustained drive in, and that's what they obviously look like they're trying to do.
First down call for Eric Zier and company. Gives it off to Hurst. Caught in the backfield, slung down at the 24. by Virgil Harrington, the nose guard.
That's the first bad decision I saw Hurst make. He should have just run behind the offensive lineman. And here it is here that the offensive lineman really knock him off the football, but Hurst stops and hesitates in here and makes the first bad decision as a runner I've seen today.
Loss of a yard. Harrington, who made the tackle, is from Statesboro, transferred from Northeast Oklahoma. Second down, 11. Ball inside the Eagles 25 at the 23. Here's a pitch to Hurst. He fumbles it, picks it up. In trouble and smothered. Back at the 29-yard line, the first to get there. Virgil Harrington, who makes back-to-back plays with help from defensive end Michael Morris.
Well, again, I think Hurst is hurting a little bit. He gets a little sloppy if he gets a little tired. He looks like he's tired. He needs to be fresh.
When you get tired like that, Vince, too, does that cause you many times, instead of taking it north and south, you start dancing?
You lose your concentration. You lose your concentration on the football. You tend to dance a little bit. You're right. Another personal foul penalty, it looks like, against Georgia Southern.
Dead ball foul, personal foul against the defense, first down.
Let's see how it happened.
Well, that was costly for Georgia Southern. They've had some costly penalties. Here it is. Garrison Hurst took his eyes off the football. Well, I don't know
about that one.
Maybe it was somewhere else. It wasn't in that
was
frame.
Not there. First down at 10. Georgia from the Eagles 13-yard line. With 11:15 to play, it's Georgia 27 and Georgia Southern 7. Max Strong is a single setback. Sire with a snap, turns, gives it off to Strong, carries him with him inside the 10 to about the 7.
That's good blocking up front. Jack Swan, Greg O'Neill, number 67, who is 320. He's just a junior. There he is, number 67. They call him the Dancing Bear at 6'4" and 320. Doesn't know a lot about techniques, but he's got some ability and be a great player, along with that number 73, who is Bernard Williams, the left tackle. 6'9", 294, and a great talent.
Call him Pup. Pitch comes right side. Hurst looking for room. Lowers his head, and he takes it toward the pylon. Can't quite get in. Boy, did he deliver a blow.
Shannon Mitchell, the tight end, makes a great block, but Garrison Hurst, a great example of how he can get his shoulder pads onto people. Right there, look at that. Great explosion. He touched that pylon.
Hit Sean Austin.
Let's see. Is that a touchdown? It looks like it to me.
Gonna call it about a foot short.
Unless his hand went out of bounds before the ball touched the pylon. They're gonna probably give it to Hurst, let him score.
Would be his second touchdown of the day, as earlier from 75 yards out. He'll walk in. Touchdown, Garrison Hurst.
Good block by the fullback, Max Strong. You can see the fullback Strong. Where is he? Number 7. No, that wasn't Strong. It was Harvey, wasn't it? I believe it was. Oh, Strong is at the wingback. And there's Harvey, and there's Strong making the play from the wingback position.
Peterson's kick is right down the middle, and with time out on the field, it's Georgia 34, Georgia Southern 7. You're watching Southeastern Conference football this afternoon from Athens on Video Seat. Garrison Hurst, from about a foot out, scores his second touchdown of the day to give the Georgia Bulldogs a 34-7 lead with 10:22 to go.
I don't know how many touchdowns Garrison Hurst has moving toward Herschel Walker's record of touchdowns, but I can assure you he's breathing on it.
Breathing heavily on it.
Heavily.
Obviously, the two great backs you're talking about had different strengths.
Different entirely. There's no one bigger or faster or stronger or tougher than Herschel Walker. But Garrison Hearst can do more things. He can stop, start, he's powerful. He's got his feet under him all the time, which enables him to accelerate left or right. And he does have great speed himself.
Great to see Herschel with the Eagles now and getting new life and doing a great job.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Herschel Walker. He got maybe 2 or 3 more years, and what a great place to end his career.
Peterson's kick is a low one, picked up at the 6-yard line. Dancing out to the 29 is number 19, Marco Bradham. Let's go down to the field to Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
Some good news on Shannon Mitchell. You know, he went out of the ball game before the Georgia scored the touchdown. He pulled a muscle in his back, but he was back on the field the last 2 plays. In fact, he was in when Georgia scored their last touchdown. He's expected to stay in the ball game the rest of the way. Back up top.
Thank you, Chip.
He sure was in because he made a heck of a block.
Here's a drive, 12 plays, 85 yards, 4:40 off the clock. Hurst, call it a yard out. Dupree has it now. Gets it just across the 30-yard line. Knocked down by Deshae McKeever. This Georgia defense has been allowing about 11 points a game, 165 yards rushing per outing, 104 through the air. Total offense allowed coming into this game, 269 yards.
It's been the biggest surprise. It's a young defense, extremely quick, and good morale. Really are playing together as a football team.
Coming up next for Georgia, Vanderbilt comes to town. Georgia Southern will host James Madison. Here's Dupree spinning out to about the 34. Georgia Southern plays 8 home games this year.
Well, Georgia Southern has tested the Georgia defense on the ground with the option better than anybody I've seen this year.
Clemens and Tremble and Chris Wilson in on the stop for Georgia. They'll mark it at the 33. It is 3rd down and 6.
Well, it's interesting that Chris Wilson is making a tackle because he's making on one of his old teammates, Joe Dupree. Both went to Southwest in Macon.
Dupree back to throw, pops it, sacked. Georgia's 2nd sack of the day. And this sack by number 89, Philip Daniels, a freshman out of Donaldsonville, Georgia, 6'6", 205. Let's look at it again.
Yeah, watch. He's 6'6", 205, and a heck of an athlete. Got all of his football ahead of him, along with McKeever out of Hazelhurst. He's a redshirt freshman, so there's some good young players in that defensive line.
Back for Georgia, Jeff Thomas. Kick is away, high hanging kick. Thomas calling for the fair catch at about the 32-yard line. With 8:23 to go, that's where Georgia will play it, and the score is Dogs 34, Eagles 7. You're watching Southeastern Conference football live from Athens, Georgia on Video Seat. Special thanks today to our spotters Wendy McClendon and Charlie Whittemore, with stats Chris Crouch, our stage managers Joyce Atkinson and Sue Keith, our director Skip Hill, and producer Mike Voss. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Done a great job.
Indeed they have.
1st and 10, pitch to Garrison Hearst. Changes directions, cuts back again, gets it out to the 40. Just 2.5 yards shy of a 1st down. Tackle by Vincent Norris.
Georgia's complete first unit is still in the football game. Again, you can see the sweep to Hearst. Yeah, you can watch those legs as he's got that balance with his feet under him, which enables him to cut either way. And when he cuts, he can really accelerate.
Hearst, 19 carries, 167 yards today, 2 touchdowns, both on the ground. Georgia Southern jumps off sides. Special thanks to Georgia Athletics Director Vince Dooley, Assistant AD for Sports Information Claude Felton, and the Associate SID Norm Riley. And on the Georgia Southern side, the AD Bucky Wagner.
Offsides on the defense. 1st down.
The Media Relations Director Matt Rogers, and Nate Hirsch, who is a coordinator of electronic media.
Well, Bucky Wagner has certainly done a splendid job. 11 years as the athletic director, and the greatest recruiting job it's ever been done when he got Irk to go to Georgia Southern.
Here's Hearst, run out of bounds. And another penalty marker down. Don Hudson hit him out.
Don Hudson has made a lot of tackles. That's another Georgia Southern penalty. They have had 9 so far. However, this one's
holding
against Georgia. Holding.
The offense. 10 yards from the flag. First down.
Penalties have certainly hurt Georgia Southern. Had a total of 10. But anyway, Bucky Wagner and the then president Dale Lick, I always said, did a better recruiting job than was done on Herschel Walker. When they came up and got Irk, who's been with us 17 years, to come down there and to start the program anew.
In just a minute, I'd like to ask you about Irk and his headbutting before a game. Is that how he lost his hair?
No, I think it was already gone by then.
Sire going for the home run ball, looking for Hassan Graham, and he goes up and is tipped away. Great defensive coverage that time from Sean Austin. Stayed with him step for step, and that's not an easy thing to do.
He did, and he went up with him, too. Austin from Thomasville, and there's a lot of Thomasville players on here. You can see both of them going up, jumping. I thought Hassan was going to make the play, but great play on both sides. Austin in good position. Both of them leap high. That's a tremendous shot of 2 athletes getting off the ground.
Georgia scored twice here in the second half after leading at halftime 20-7. Here's Zaire. Pump fakes. Gonna go long, looking for Hastings, who's wide open, beats the defense, and knocked away at the last minute. A great hustle play by Don Hudson. And Vince, he had to cover some ground to get to
I'm telling you, Don Hudson has played one heck of a football game. He has made a lot of tackles and just a sensational play. Perfect pass. Well, watch him hustle. Here he comes. Leaps out, throws that hand in front, and just gets it away. Tremendous job by Don Hudson, the namesake of that old great receiver.
From Alabama.
Don Hudson.
Who was the other end?
From Bear Bryant.
That's right. Third down, 16, Georgia from its own 40-yard line. Slot us to the near side. Here's Zaire out of the shotgun. Penalty marker down, pass thrown. It is complete for the first down into Georgia Southern territory at the 43, tackled by Sean Austin. And the bullet on the money to Jeff Thomas. But let's see if this one comes back or if it's against Georgia Southern, holding against the Dogs. Could be a late hit. We'll check it out. We'll remind you again that basketball coach Hugh Durham and his men's team have their sights set on a big 92-93 season. Georgia and that Eastern Division, Vince, of the SEC should be very, very strong.
Well, great recruiting year on paper. Coach Durham will tell you on paper.
Against the offense.
A lot of penalties, but certainly it looks promising for Georgia in basketball this year.
That Eastern Division with Kentucky and Georgia and Vanderbilt and Florida, very, very strong. You can watch the Bulldogs along with their nationally ranked recruiting.
Then we had a dead ball foul, personal foul, spearing against the defense. First down.
First open scrimmage will be November 7th. Folks, be sure to get your season tickets now.
Here's the late hit. Look at the spear right there.
No question about it.
And
Paul Carroll.
That was number 11, the 11th penalty for Georgia Southern.
That equals the number of penalties they had last week. Automatic first down from the Georgia 43, 1st and 10 with 6:45 remaining. And the Dogs on top 34-7. Here's Zaire out of the gun. Throws it short left to Strong. Strong fumbles the football, recovered by Georgia Southern at the 47-yard line. Brandon Roselle, the junior from Stone Mountain, or was it Hughie Hunt? It was Hunt. Redshirt freshman out of Hinesville.
But Roselle is the one that really knocks the ball out. Number 20, watch this, watch him come up, hits the tackle, makes the tackle there, bounces around, and Georgia Southern recovers it. Roselle from Stone Mountain.
The thing about this Georgia Southern team that impresses me, Vince, is that they have not quit. They're hanging with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though being down 34-7 against a very, very good Georgia team. How do you like the setup in the SEC East and West Division, that big championship game on December 5th?
I think it's going to be just a tremendous thing for the conference. And we're all looking forward to the championship game in Birmingham. And that's why Georgia's so interested in the Tennessee scores.
Extremely. Second down. Long. Dupree caught in the backfield, knocked down at the 50. Derek Smith, the redshirt freshman out of Memphis.
Dupree has great running ability, but he doesn't yet have the feel of the option. It takes a long time to be able to be totally comfortable in making the right decisions. But he is going to get better and better and better.
Willis comes to the near side for the Eagles. Working as a flanker left, it's Sorrell. Dupree wants to throw, gets the block on the corner. He fires over the head of Willis at the 40-yard line. Good tight coverage that time by Charles Pledger. In the first quarter, Georgia Southern opened the scoring. Then the Dogs had a touchdown and a field goal. And the same thing in the second quarter for the Dogs. And Georgia has scored here in the second half, a touchdown in the third, a touchdown in the fourth.
You know, what's been amazing to me is the record that Irk had accomplished by bringing football to Georgia Southern. 3 national championships. He averaged winning 10 games a year. And then ended out like you ought to do it, winning them all, 15 in a row, and then retiring.
Great kick by Thatcher.
What a way to go out.
The score, Georgia 34, Georgia Southern 7, 5:04 left. We'll remind you, you're watching Southeastern Conference football this afternoon from Athens on Video Seat. Let's go down to the field now to Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
All right, thanks, Charlie Mack. There'll be a quarterback change coming up now. Preston Jones, a senior, will come in as Eric Zier's day is complete. It'll be fun to watch Preston play in his senior season. Back up top.
He's in there with the entire second unit.
8 of 13 throwing on the year for 84 yards. Gives it off straight up the middle. A big pop there on Harvey, the big fullback out of Dawson.
And that's Paul Carroll, I bet, the linebacker, making the pop.
And of course, Tim Stowers has said how intense he is, and it's not just for half the game or 3 quarters, it's all 4 quarters.
But football has really helped Georgia Southern in so many ways. You know, they have doubled their enrollment in the 10 years and went from a college to a university. And I think football had a lot to do with it.
A lot. Pitch. Davis out to the 22. Vince, I was talking earlier about headbutting and Irk Russell. Did he do that every
Well,
game?
he did it. I don't think his wife Jean liked him to do that. But I'll tell you what, the players really enjoyed, and he was what I've always felt like was a player-type coach. He got down on his all fours, and that was important to the defensive team back in those days. And he did. He would just nip that old scab that'd been there from the week before, and with his adrenaline flowing and the blood flowing, and the blood would really go, and the players love to see the coach bleed.
3rd down and short, 3rd down and about 1.5 yards. Preston Jones will give it off to Davis, who spins, dances backwards, and then goes forward for the first down. Had the first down, then backpedaled, and got it back again. I guess if you're Irk Russell's wife, I guess the good thing could be that after a headbutting session on Saturday, she'd ask for the credit cards, and I guess he would say yes every time.
Yeah.
Great day to go shopping.
Amen.
Don Hudson on the tackle.
Don Hudson again. But they've got 2 sons, you know, both in coaching.
Yes.
Rusty is out at SMU, and Jay is at Rabun County, Clayton, Georgia, as the athletic director and head coach.
Damon Evans comes out to the near side for Georgia. In motion is Davis. Preston Jones with a play fake, wheels the other way, fires, caught for the first down out to the 43-yard line. That is James Warner on the catch, and there is yet another penalty marker down in this game. James Walker is a 6'4", 225-pound sophomore out of Newnan. Here's a call.
Incidental face mask against the defense, 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
That's penalty number 12. That's entirely too many.
Bryce Hunter, the receiver, to the near side for Georgia. Thomas to the far side. Give it off to the tailback Davis. Caught and dropped after he picks up a yard by Scott Davis, sophomore out of Powder Spring. 2:38 left and counting. Georgia with a big lead, 34-7. Vince, will another game be played between these two schools?
Well, I don't know. I think that this one game is very appropriate. And I'm proud that we played it. Very interesting game. You never say never. We'll just have to wait and see.
Second down, 9. Preston Jones is the Georgia quarterback. Got to give it off to his tailback Davis. He's stuck right in the hole. Bounces back, knocked down at the 46. Going to lose a couple, maybe 3. Hughie Hunt, middle linebacker, on the tackle for the Eagles.
Well, I do know this. I do know that Dirk has got to be proud of Tim Stowers, who was the offensive coach for a long time, and he's been with Georgia Southern for 8 seasons before he became the head football coach. And of course, as he's proud of Tim Stowers, I'm very proud of Ray Goff and the job that he has done in his 4th year rebuilding the program.
Third down, 9. Draw play. Harvey breaks out of a pack at the 45, takes it down to the 41, and a first down.
Well, Harvey's one of those backs. Once he gets his engine going, he is strong at 240-something pounds.
We're at a pretty good number there. You were talking about Rodney Hampton. That's his old number.
Oh, yeah. Entirely, there's no resemblance between
no,
the two as far
physically.
As backs are concerned.
Don Hudson again on the tackle for Georgia Southern.
Well,
we've got just over a minute left.
He may set a tackling record.
Give it off to Davis. Knocked down at the 38. Going to get about 4. Michael Morris on the tackle. Georgia Southern scored first in this game, a 40-yard run by Bostic. Then Garrison Hurst for Georgia, a 75-yard run. Then Peterson, a 23-yard field goal. Mike Jones picked off a Bostic pass and took it 68 yards for the score to make it 17-7. And then Peterson, as time expired in the first half, had a 22-yard field goal to make it 20-7. Pitch goes to Harvey, left side. Goes down. May have injured his ankle, Vince. I think it gave way.
Yeah, it looked like it did. He was getting ready to run over the Roselle, the defensive back, and all of a sudden looks like it collapsed.
In the third quarter, Zaire, a 52-yard touchdown pass to Hastings, and then Hurst scored from inside a yard out, and we've got timeout on the field with the injury to Frank Harvey and just 5 ticks remaining. Well, Vince, let me tell you now, it is my pleasure to have worked with you today. I've always admired you a great deal. I think you've always meant a great deal to college football, and I hope we get together again.
Well, I've enjoyed it. It really has been a lot of fun, and you've been a great announcer through the years, and we were talking yesterday, and I didn't know about your coaching experience.
Very limited.
But it's all right. I think it's a big help, though, to have been out there on the field when you're announcing, for a little better understanding.
Well, it's given me a greater appreciation of coaches and players and families and fans and what they all go through, and I think it has been a help.
Somebody said that Arkansas is kicking a field goal with 6 seconds left. It's 24-22, and I don't know what happened, but I know what happened here is that this was one fine, tough, hard football game between 2 fine young coaches, Tim Stowers and Ray Goff, who've got great futures.
Indeed. Georgia a winner over Georgia Southern today in Athens, 34-7. You've been watching SEC football today from Athens, Georgia, between the hedges on Video Seat.
Arkansas is kicking it. They're on about the 20-yard line.
Okay. Okay. Georgia winner today, 34-7. Let's go down on the field to Chip Tarkenton. Chip.
All right, thanks, guys. I got a couple of the real players of today's game, Garrison Hurst and Andre Hastings. First, we'll talk with Garrison. He had another good game, a lot of yards again today.
Yeah, we came out trying to establish the ground air attack first. They opened the ground game up for me, and I was able to get a lot of key runs.
It's a little hotter today than you thought early, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of hot to get started. You had to get used to the weather a little bit, but after all that, I kind of got used to it and settled down.
You just got a little overheated, did you, to start? Just tired?
Definitely. I was a little tired, and I got hit, and my helmet slipped down above my eyes and kind of made me a little dizzy.
All right, let's jump over and talk to this guy who just tied the receiver record today. Charles Whittemore was up in the booth with us. Congratulations on that. Tell us about that touchdown pass.
Thank you. Coaches, we haven't practiced on that play. The guy bit real hard on the fake. I think Bernard Williams didn't even block his guy. His guy was just looking around. I came up and Eric made a great throw. I caught the ball, just tried to get in the end zone.
Surprised at how well Georgia Southern played today?
I think they played real tough. I wasn't surprised. We knew there was a good team. They hit hard and they played well.
Have you thought anything about that record? Do you even think coming into the game about getting a record, or are you just trying to play the game?
I'm just trying to play the game. I didn't even know there was a record. You just told me. I never knew anything about it.
Vanderbilt next week. Some revenge, maybe?
Hopefully we'll come in and, we'll play tough and play up to our best of our ability, and hopefully we'll come out winners.
Okay, thanks, Andre. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
A couple of great performances by those two young men today, Garrison Hurst and Andre Hastings. A big win for Georgia today. Back up top to the two legends, Charlie McAlexander and Coach Vince Dooley.
Well, Chip, I know there's one legend up here, and I'm standing right beside him. Anyone likes to see effort. Georgia Southern comes in here as a very big underdog, and they play very, very tough, especially in that first half, and then really don't give up in the second half. Have some great opportunities down close, but Georgia's been so tough on opponents inside the 20, and they prove very tough here today.
Well, they move the ball better than, I tell you, anybody's moved the ball running, and got a real option. Well, everybody's gone crazy because what happened, Arkansas has just kicked the field goal to beat Tennessee. And now, of course, that adds a lot. The Georgia players are running around.
Well, you talk about a reaction.
2 seconds left when they kicked the field goal, so that's wow.
Well, that certainly evens things up between Georgia and Tennessee. Now, Tennessee winning early here, and Georgia committing all those turnovers, having all the penalties, giving Tennessee a chance to come away here.
Well, right now, Tennessee still has the edge to go if they both go undefeated. But the fact remains now that Tennessee could lose again. And if that's the case, Tennessee would have to lose twice. Georgia would have to go undefeated. But in any way, this is a tremendous celebration right here in Sanford Stadium over a game that's not here.
Unbelievable. The reaction that just took place was really something to behold, hearing that Arkansas-Tennessee score. And they're not through yet.
No, they're going to jump and celebrate in the locker room. I've never seen a celebration quite like this. That's taking place not in the game that you're in.
Again, Vince Dooley, it has been a real pleasure. My thanks to Chip Tarkenton as well.
Thank you.
Another win for Georgia, and now next week playing Vanderbilt here between the hedges, and obviously Georgia is going to be supercharged for that game.
I would think so, particularly now with new life and new opportunity.
Georgia wins it 34-7. Our thanks to being with us today. You've been watching Southeastern Conference football from Athens on Video Seat.